start video transmission. It's going to post a tweet. So it does all that for you if you YouTube. Fucking apparently Twitch won't do that though. Won't do all those things. I don't know why. It's just, oh boy. So yeah, like couple things. One, got that vaccine.
You got that there. You got first round?
Round 1, yeah. Round 2 is apparently when you fight. So
which ones you get? Did you get Pfizer? Did you get Moderna?
I think it was the Pfizer one. It's whatever they had in Northern California. You know, I don't know that I had an option.
Well, I mean, it's not so much they have an option. It's more like, what do you luck out on them giving you?
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it was a Pfizer, and in about 3 weeks I go back, and that's apparently when I got to go Rocky Balboa with this thing, because I was already. And I gotta tell you, I was already like, God, I came home about an hour later. I was already like fatigue is like my biggest enemy, you know.
Yeah, no, I lucked out. I got the Pfizer, I got the Moderna one.
Oh, is that the one that doesn't like fuck you up, or
like literally the worst problem that I've seen personally with Moderna as a side effect is that your arm is just fucking sore the next day, but not if you rub it. If you spend that day rubbing it out, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, my arm was sore for the rest of the day, but, like, I woke up today and it was fine. I mean, it's a little tender where they stuck me, but, they did, in fact, jab a metal thing into my arm, so that tracks.
Also, like, another thing with the Moderna that I've heard from a lot of people, and this happened to me too, is that, like, I didn't recognize when I was getting stuck.
Me neither.
Like, she did it, and she was like, done, and I'm like, you didn't put, and then I looked at it, I'm like, oh no, there's a tiny blood droplet there. Yeah, I guess you did.
They're just like, done. It's like, hey, like, how's your day been? Okay, you're done. Wait, I didn't even tell you. Yeah, get out. Get out of the chair, sit there for 15 minutes, you dumbass. Actually, it wasn't that. It wasn't that impersonal. It was actually quite nice. Apparently we're getting mornings from Glasgow.
Oh my goodness, Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
Such a wonderful and fantastic place in a wonderful and fantastic country.
Man. So there was that, and then I watched this documentary that I'm just kidding, by the way. I do love Scotland. I'm just kidding, by the way. I do love Scotland. Anyway, yeah, so you watching this movie. I'm watching this movie. Yeah, well, so the horror guru fucking watches this documentary, and he's like, you gotta watch this. And I'm like, okay, what is it? He's like, it's on Hulu. It's called Sasquatch. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to watch no Sasquatch documentary. This is no. And he's like, no, man, trust me. I started watching it because I thought it was going to be like the Flat Earth fucking documentary. Mm-hmm. And it turns out this is some of the most riveting shit you will ever fucking watch. And I was like, what? And it's on Hulu and it's called Sasquatch? He's like, yeah. So I started watching it.
Is it about the Sasquatch, or?
It kind of.
Wait, is it about people who go squatching?
Here's what it's about.
Oh, God.
The documentary filmmaker, who is like an investigative journalist, remembers a story that he heard when he was weed farming back in the early 90s. He remembers this conversation where this guy came in and said, Bigfoot killed all of them, man. And there were like these 3 dudes who had been like mauled to death supposedly by Bigfoot.
Wait, I remember this. I think I saw this adverted on Hulu. It's literally about like this story about people on weed farms being killed by
Sasquatch. Yeah, killed by Bigfoot. And it is a wild ride. Because, I mean, the first thing that they tell you, because first of all, according to legend, like Mendocino, Humboldt and Mendocino are like, that's like prime Bigfoot country.
Oh, Humboldt? Yeah.
Yeah. That's like prime Bigfoot land, apparently. But how to put it, there's a lot of weird shit that goes on. They even talk to like the guys that did the Patterson Gimli footage, with the one guy going, I'm the dude in the costume, and the other guy going like, I don't know what he's talking about. They're Bigfoot real.
He's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You know that we faked this.
Yeah. Like, you know that we faked this because fucking I still have parts of the costume. You know,
Bigfoot real.
Yeah, Bigfoot are real. And you kind of believe the dude who's telling you, no, here's part of the costume, and that was me in it, and I didn't say anything for 30 fucking years, and then Patterson died, so I was like, fuck it. I hate the other guy. So fuck him. What is Bigfoot, why your weed is so expensive? That is partially what this documentary is all about.
No.
Yeah, it is all about how Bigfoot intersects with the Mendocino weed farming trade.
No.
Yeah.
No!
3 45-minute episodes.
Jack, I scream no for a very particular reason.
Yeah.
And that's because there's no such fucking thing as Bigfoot.
Oh, well, here's the thing about the documentary. It does not necessarily disagree with you. This is all about the guy trying to track down whether or not that story he heard was real. And if it is, what... Not whether or not the story is, like, actually Bigfoot, but did he really hear that? And what caused that series of events to happen?
So, were people actually murdered?
Yes. People were actually murdered. That's like the one thing you're pretty solid on by the end of this. And by the end of it, you're pretty sure you know who did it and why. Now, why these guys in particular is the only dangling thread. But given everything else, it's one of those, it could have just been wrong place, wrong time.
Oh my god. Joke Hair in the chat. Wasn't Bigfoot Jesus, but not really? No. According to the Mormons, Bigfoot is Cain.
Yeah.
Which is... no.
Yeah, and me, I do not believe Bigfoot is real. Like, not even a little bit. But the phenomenon of Bigfoot, the myth of Bigfoot, fascinates me.
What?
Because it's taken so many weird turns.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me that you don't believe that Mark Barton was mentally raped by Bigfoot?
I don't believe... well, not by Bigfoot. I wouldn't even see by aliens. Like, if you want to tell me that he was assaulted by a guy in a monkey suit, I would believe that. Do I believe that he believes it's Bigfoot? Yes.
Well, okay, that's where you and I differ. Because I've watched.
He's making it up.
Oh, I've watched that interview. I'm like, I did not see a single actual tear during his crying. I'm like, I don't fucking believe this for a minute. I don't believe that he believes this.
Oh, you think it's just a complete, put on?
He stops at least 5 times to go, by the way, you can go see this on my channel. And I'm like...
oh, shit. Okay, all right.
I know a hustle when I see one.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that
game recognized game, Granddad.
You know, and you looking a little
I'm
unfamiliar.
familiar right now.
Where's Granddad? Excuse me, sir. Who are you?
Boy, shut the hell up.
You know? But anyway, yeah. So this documentary about called Sasquatch on Hulu, that's 3 45-minute episodes long, is all about this guy just trying to track down the origin of this story and figure out what happens. And very early on in the investigation, he hires a private investigator, you know, to look up shit that he can't, as like, because he doesn't have private investigator skills. You know, it's like find out if any murders or missing people matches this thing at this time in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen, you know, like that kind of shit. And he gets this call back. He gets a text that is like, we're wandering into some territory that I consider to be morally questionable. I quit. He's like, What? I'm just trying to locate a dude who told me a story about Bigfoot killing somebody. Killing three people. How is this entering into a weird moral area? You know,
what the
like
fuck
we're
have I
already
stumbled into.
Yeah. We're already in like California. Weed is already kind of legal. What the fuck are you talking about? And then it just keeps going on. And it gets weirder and weirder and weirder. And they do, but you like the documentary ends with the guy going, I don't know if it's all 100% true, but at least now I have a story that makes sense.
And it ends in Fouke, Arkansas.
And it is a tale of fucking greed, drugs, the 60s, and murder most foul. You know, you're just sitting there and you're like, what? Because you realize there are all these people who like live under the shadow of this legend. Not Bigfoot. Bigfoot killed 3 people in this location in 93. Like that story that he overhears while fucking clipping bud back in 93 turns out has a history and a life of its own that no one could have ever fucking foreseen.
And you know, it's weird, especially since like you gave him that whole thing of like, it is a tale of this, and murder most foul. All I can think of now, all that's happening in my head is, and those buccaneers drown their sins in rum. The devil himself would have to call them scum. Every man on board would have killed his man. What the fuck?
Oh no, dude. Yeah.
Weed pirates, man.
Yeah, weed pirates.
Ganja banditos.
And Hell's Angels.
Oh, no, fuck. All bets are off. All bets are off. No,
Hell's
fuck
Angels and fucking contract killings and, like, everything. You're just like, if this is one of those, holy shit, it turns out that story is dynamite. And you're just sitting there going, this cannot be real. You're sitting here going, this is too weird to be real, but it's also too stupid to be anything but.
How to put it? I've had minimal interaction with the Hells Angels, and
yeah,
the little bit I've had, how to put it? I'm just like, no. As soon as they're involved in this, all bets are off.
Well, like there's a level of there's a level of hardcore that you find yourself going, I'm out. You know, like somewhere you realize that murder is a moral line, and they are somewhere way on the other side of it.
Yeah, no, and I say this with love. Because I've met some fascinating dudes. But I say this with love. They're fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, like you find yourself going like, oh, I mean, I've gotten along with the ones I've known, but like, Would I join the gang? Yeah, probably not.
Oh, hell no.
Would I
I
rather
need
be on their good side? Yeah, I'd rather be on the good side.
I need to sleep at night. Hell no.
Yeah. It's like that's one of those like, okay, I'm a pussy when it comes to this shit. You know, like fuck. Oh, what do I think about Loch Ness Monster? I think Loch Ness Monster's made up. Like, I think that one is just entirely made up.
Same.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Nessie exists in the liminal states of our consciousness when thinking about fucking Scotland. You know, the phenomena is like, you know, as I like to say, the phenomena is real, even if the monster isn't. But it's interesting because, like, it's a complete myth. You know,
I have an opinion of what I think Nessie might be.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get.
Well, let me put it this way: it's not hard to think of like things that it could be, or it might be, or why someone would come up with something like that, because that is a big body of water that you can't see more than a foot down in.
I specifically think it's a Greenland shark.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that theory that it's a Greenland shark. You know, like maybe not, but like the thing that always, like if you look at Loch Ness, you're like, yeah, no wonder people think monsters live in this shit.
Also, that loch is really deep.
It is.
It is pretty big, pretty deep, and pretty cold and pretty murky.
Which cryptids do I think are real? Which cryptids do I think are sightings of actual things that are more or less like what they claim? Chupacabra. Now,
I really want to find out what the fuck that is.
Yeah. I'm like, no, it's like a coyote with mange. You know, it's like a rabbit coyote or something like that. That's Chupacabra. You know, it looks fucked up because it's got some sort of skin condition that makes it fucked up because mange is really common, you know, among wild dogs, you know, and most people don't think about that. Like, you ever seen a hairless bear? That'll freak your shit out.
Oh, they look weird.
Yeah. If you didn't know what that was, you would be like, demon, you know, like you freak. Because you look up a photo of a hairless bear right now, and you'll be like, you know,
it's so weird, man. It's like pinkish skin, but there's like gray veins. It's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, it's like a gigantic hairless cat, but not entirely hairless, and so it just looks wrong. You know, like, it is not a beautiful animal, and
it looks like a bear. A bear when naked looks like if a water bear was the size of a bear.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. You know, and but it's got that like almost wolf-like head. Like, you don't realize like how canine-like a bear's head is until all its hair is gone. You know, how much of that, the idea that a bear's face is round, is just its floof. When it doesn't have its floof, you're just sort of like, it's coming right for us.
And the weird prehensile lips, it's like, no.
Oh my god, and that tongue? Jesus Christ. You know, like that's what, like, I think that's the Jersey Devil. I think a hairless bear.
A hairless black bear.
Yeah, that was standing up when someone saw it. And they were... Because what if you didn't know that was a hairless bear? How would you describe it?
As something awful.
Yeah. You just your brain would just start filling in details because you just have no idea what the fuck you're looking at.
Yep.
You know, yeah, hairless bears, man, they're freaky. That's why I think fucking Jersey Devil is, and I think Chupacabra is like dogs with mange.
Or coyote with mange or something.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I think I'm more of a molder.
I do not believe Mothman is real at all.
I want him to be real.
I would like Mothman. Here's the thing.
Mothman is my favorite himbo. I love Mothman.
Here's the thing about Mothman. If you tell me that Mothman is literally just a moth going by someone's like fucking headlights and freaking people out, yeah, I'd believe that.
It's just a gypsy moth the size of a cat.
Yeah, it's just a big moth that like it's just a big moth, that because it goes in front of a source of light, because moths do that. That when it's projected onto something, it looks really fucking weird. But I don't believe that there is a shadow of a Mothman that will predict your death out there, because Banshee, I understand how that shit's supposed to work. As I've said millions of times about Mothman make no sense. Why does he predict doom? Like a woman fucking washing the clothes of a soon-to-die relative has some sort of track to it. Because it can't just be, because it can't just be, I saw an old woman by the fucking water, therefore I knew someone was gonna die. And I'm like, yeah, she was washing her underwear. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So you gotta add that little, other little element to it that makes it make sense.
Oh, that's the of your dead relative. It's your
yeah. It has something to do with death, and then it's like, oh well, at some point she just doesn't need to be washing clothes anymore, and she's just an old woman who goes, oh.
I don't know. Maybe look, you might be thinking about this more than I, but what part for you of Mothman doesn't make sense or doesn't track?
How does why does the moth predict doom? And how?
All right. Okay. Are you asking
how?
Are you asking how does the Mothman know, or are you asking what is the how do you associate it with the prediction of doom?
Yes. Because
okay.
It seems to me that Mothman occurs, and then within 2 weeks something bad happens, because something bad always happens in 2 weeks of anything. And then everyone's like, oh, it was Mothman, he predicted it. And I'm like, why? How? Like, when someone says, oh, it was the ghost of my grandmother or something, I'm at least, well, I could at least see, if ghosts are real, I could see why it would care about giving you a warning about something.
I don't know, man. I how to put it? I think you're just way more bothered by this than I am.
No, Mothman's always bothered me because intent is ascribed to it.
Well, I mean,
because it's not just I saw a Mothman in the woods, like Alligator Man, like the Florida Gator Man, which I'm convinced is just a dude in the costume. Was just a dude in a costume, but still. God,
I hope so. I hope
that.
I want that to be a guy in a costume, and I want it to be like a hereditary position. Like, son, my pappy was the Florida Gator Man, and I was the Florida Gator Man after him. Now it is your turn to be the Florida Gator Man.
Yeah. But imagine if Florida Gator Man also predicted the gender of your children.
If there was a mechanism or a pattern by which he did that, yeah.
Exactly. Like, there needs to be a mechanism or a real pattern. That's not just, oh, maybe something. And that's why Mothman bugs me, because it doesn't have that. It's just sort of like, you see Mothman, and then, your dog dies 2 weeks later. But it's not always your dog dying. Sometimes it's a flat tire.
Yeah, but it's not like, okay, wait. Well, wait, hold up.
What?
Hold up. Now, hold on. Let's be fair here. Whenever Mothman shows up, within a week to 2 weeks, yeah, something bad happens, but that something bad is usually related to the failing of a human structure.
Yeah.
And the deaths of no less than 100 people.
Yeah, why does he give a shit?
Well, how do you know he gives a shit? He could just be there.
He could just be doing it? Okay, but if he's just doing it, then why is he doing it? You know, like a lot of this would be real. Would okay? Like here's the thing: the myth is not. Long time before the white man came, this was the land of the moth spirits. You know, and then they're angry because of white man's train or something. Like you give me something like that, I'm like, okay, great. Now we got a story.
The moth spirits.
No, like to me, Mothman is just a bunch of shit people randomly put together. You know, like it's not a real story. It's just like, hey, I saw I saw a moth the size of a dude, and then then there was a train accident. Holy shit, he caused a train accident? Yeah, like 10 days later. What?
Again, I don't think it's that he causes it. I think the thing is that he's more of like, you know, his presence indicates that something bad is naturally going to occur.
But why?
Well,
I mean, it's not like if you see Grim Reaper, right?
Right.
Like that would make sense. Like that occupies a certain amount of you know, metaphysical logic.
Okay.
You know, you know, like if you say, oh my god, I saw fucking Grim Reaper walking down the train tracks and then there was a train accident. Okay, yeah, all right, you know. I don't know if I believe that that's what happened, but I understand what the story is.
Wait, okay. Let's get down to this. Is what's bothering you about this the fact that it doesn't make sense for a moth to be involved with this? It like symbolically doesn't make sense to you?
It makes no sense. Like, what's the fucking semiotic here?
Okay, so it's really not even the methodology or anything else that's really bothering you. It's really the symbological what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it has no... What about moths is going to predict death by human disaster?
Well, I mean, I get the moth bit though, like in the sense that, like, I don't know, like moths and butterflies are often associated with death and
yeah, but that's but doing it like that that's a real stretch.
And
that
then
is
also
a stretch that we do not make for almost any other mythological creature.
I don't know. It just never bothered me that much. Plus, like, I always heard the theory that, like, you know, much like a moth may be attracted to an extremely bright light, because it mistakes it for the moon and or the sun, and therefore it fucks with its orientation.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really why they do that.
Yeah.
So much in that same way, I always heard the theory of, like, okay, what if, like, this thing, whatever it is part of some type of fifth dimensional species or whatever, and they're just drawn to the energetic vibration that's given off by, like, a tragedy, like that type of negative thing.
Yeah, they just got, like, so they can travel the fifth dimension, but they got, like, okay, but two things are wrong with that. One, okay, so they could do that. Okay, well then wouldn't this be a more universal thing that happens?
It happens a lot, actually, in multiple different countries.
Really? Because, like, mainly it's mainly Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania.
Like, they saw it before the Chernobyl accident.
That one I hadn't heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not.
So
it's
what?
Not...
All right. But, like, why?
I don't fucking know.
You know, like, there's a big why. Like, I don't understand how this. I don't understand how this is supposed to come together. Like, I understand that people like the idea of, like, a moth monster. Like, that's cool. But why doesn't it, like, I don't know, eat your clothes or something? You know, like, does it eat clothes? Does it cocoon you? Does it do something like that? Does it predict gypsy moth swarms? You know, like, hey, hell, even if it had something to do with, like, crop rotation, I would still, like, be like, oh, well, I saw a Mothman. That means it's going to be a bad year for apples. You know, like, some shit like that. Like, that would make some kind of sense. Or if there was like some weird Native American guy who's like, "Hey, curse this train in the name of the Mothman." Everyone's like, "What the fuck is a Mothman?" "Oh my god, a Mothman appeared just like he said it would, and everyone died." Like, that'd be like, okay, all right. Now there's something that brings it all together. But nothing brings this whole story together. It just does not. It just falls apart. The only reason it holds together is because it is so fucking broken that you can't necessarily get it out of your head because you're constantly trying to figure out how it's supposed to work.
I'm sorry. I honestly just love so much. I'm sorry. I'm just enjoying this too much. Just you just being frustrated at Mothman.
Yeah. Like if you told me it was a djinn, I'd be like, okay. There are stories of jinns doing this kind of thing. This is just the modern incarnation. Got it. It's the fact that it's like, no, it's like a 20th or 19th century cryptid. It's like a brand new one. It's like a very recent one. Yeah. And it always makes me go, huh? Okay.
I love how somehow the goat sucker makes more. Well, the goat sucker's relatively simple compared.
Well, yeah. You can fucking you can come up with reasons for genital mutilations, done by animals. Like that's a thing that happens. But yeah, what I'm saying is Mothman. That is the one I don't get above all others. I have heard a lot of them. Like, I understand looking at a lake and thinking there's a monster inside of it, and that monster might be look like a dinosaur, like, because we were all 8 years old at some point. I understand, like, thinking that a dude who turns to cannibalism in the dead of winter is like inhabited by an evil spirit.
Yeah, no, I follow that.
Yeah. I could follow that.
It's
I can
weird.
imagine that a dude believes he turns into a wolf and so like kills and eats preteen girls. Like, I get it. I see how that works. But yeah, Mothman just makes no sense to me.
You know what it is with me with cryptozoology? It's weird. It's like and things like that. Like when it comes to like cryptids and aliens and shit like that. I don't think I'm entirely a Mulder, but I think like I'm kind of a Mulder with a little bit of Scully mixed in. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
I know
one of
on
those
Mothman I'm a complete Scully.
Oh no, same.
I'm a complete Scully because I'm like, dude, there's something about that. Even if I believe that places in the human imagination have some sort of terra firmament somewhere.
Yeah.
Like be it the fifth dimension or whatever. I don't understand what part Mothman has in the ecology.
Jack is a frustrated fifth dimensional biologist.
Yeah. Like, now don't get me wrong. If I see Mothman, I'll let you know.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
I'll let you know. But like,
it's really weird though with like cryptids and aliens and shit. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm fascinated. Okay, how to put this? I'm fascinated by the story. I don't automatically say, well, that's it can't be that. That's impossible. Nor do I say I believe any of this shit. I'm more of a I'd be really interested to figure out what this is.
Yeah, well, the other thing about like the other thing about like Bigfoot and UFOs and Mothman.
I want to believe.
This is what I find is interesting about them, because they are living myths. They are with us. They're supposed to be contemporaneous with us. With the living, as opposed to like Medusa was like thousands of years ago, whatever.
Right.
What? You ever notice that that cryptids usually do some of the most random ass shit? Like, and that's what bugs me. Like the cryptids that I am like the least like the ones that really annoy me: Mothman, Bigfoot, and UFOs. I know that's like the trifecta right there.
How can you? Oh, come on, man! You can't say that Bigfoot makes as little sense as the Mothman.
Well, depending on the story.
I mean, okay, just the idea that look, there's a giant ape-like creature. He wander around.
Yeah. That I'm solid on.
Okay.
But
and
you get into the stories of the Squatchers that everything starts to get really hinky, because you're like, all right, so
the goddamn eye shine and the footprints.
Yeah, you're like, all right, giant ape man leaves footprints. Okay, that could be fake, but I can wrap my mind around why you would think that'd be a thing. Okay, why can it mimic? How do you know that it can mimic any sound?
Yeah, I don't.
And it's like, well, that sounds like something it might have, and I'm like, oh no, it definitely sounds like something it might have.
But how do you know?
How is this part of the fucking lore unless somebody experienced it? Like,
how do you acquire
no one
this
actually
knowledge?
has the story of simultaneously looking at Bigfoot and it making a noise like another animal.
At least a couple times.
Yeah, like that doesn't tend to happen. It's always like, I knew I heard Bigfoot because I heard frogs, and then I walked away and I went, damn, that was Bigfoot. And you're just like, what? No. Like, what made you... what? Like, what makes people think Bigfoot can do this? Even if he does exist, that's kind of a stretch. He's not like a... what is he, a parrot?
Also,
like, what's going on?
Also, what is Bigfoot? Is Bigfoot friendly or shy or angry? What is it? Like,
or is it just like? Well, I mean, like you could explain away by being like different Bigfoots, different types of people. All right.
I mean, fair. Also, I love how a lot of the Native American Bigfoot legends are like, that thing eats people. I've noticed that. There's a lot of that one.
Yeah. Well, the other part of it that makes me fucking, how to put it, I agree with the idea that, like, Bigfoot has a lot in common with a lot of creatures that are like people but aren't quite people.
Like gorillas and such?
Well, no, not even gorillas. But yes, but like more like, like the Cyclops.
Or
ogres.
Okay.
Shit like that.
Yeah.
These are things that are pretty much human beings, except they're like big or hairy or have big toes or something, And I can kind of wrap my brain around like, oh, okay, you saw like some other type of person, and knowing that there was a period of time when Cro-Mags and Neanderthals existed on the planet at the same time.
Right.
That's not that really hard to come up with. You just sort of like, oh, okay, well, it's just a Cro-Mag seeing a Neanderthal and being like, oh my god, what is that weird big hairy thing?
All right. Okay, so Bigfoot doesn't annoy you as much as the Mothman, at least not in substance. It's like a lot of the new shit that keeps getting added to the mythology and doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Like if someone says like, yeah, the mammoth skull thing with the Cyclops, you're like, that's dumb.
But I see how that happened.
You see how it happened. You just sort of like, oh, I found a giant skull that just has one eye in the middle of it. Like you sort of like, okay, well, I doubt it's Cyclops, but just on the off chance it is, let's see if we can find some more of these.
It's like, well, if you didn't know that this is what an elephant skull looked like, I get why you'd think that.
Be confused. Yeah, like you wouldn't necessarily get that right. But yeah, it's sort of like then Bigfoot got psionic powers. Sometimes he's related to aliens. Sometimes
or like
the devil.
Or
sometimes
I was going to say sometimes it's demons and shit. Like
it's just like, what is this? What is this story even? And that's where. But here's the thing: That's not what most people think of when they think of Bigfoot. We've gotten Bigfoot distilled basically down to Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what most people think of when they think of Bigfoot. Like a hairy monkey, big hairy monkey looking guy. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, like who's to say that Yogi, it wasn't a guy of your size who had that werewolf hair problem. He's just a big guy who just like has hair all over his body because
it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it would make a lot of sense.
I'm out here in the wilderness because only the animals understand me. And then a person comes along, and if it's a person who's a freak but think they're an okay person, they're just like, hello. And then someone freaks out because they just saw Sasquatch. You know, what are they got to do? Stick around, take measurements?
Where does the word Sasquatch even come from? What is that?
Sasquatch is apparently, according to the legend, is the name that the American Indians have for the phenomenon.
All right.
But it's one of those words that apparently just means like dude what lives in the forest.
I'm starting to see
like
where
a lot of really weird names that we have for things are literal descriptions of the thing. You know, it's like Sasquatch, ooh, forest man, you know, or something like that. It's something like that. It might be mountain.
You watch. It was just like it was one weird hermit with a big beard and water on the head. It was something.
Exactly. Like I'm like, no, it was probably that, if anything. But what's just as likely is that there was something that typified the people that lived in that area, that hunted or did something in that area, and that everyone was like, oh yeah, don't fuck with them. Like they don't like it when we come around there, you know. They don't like it when people, i.e. our tribe, go there. You know,
it's like some 13th Warrior shit.
Yeah, totally. You know, totally.
Oh, fair.
Warrior shit.
Okay, now what's your problem with aliens? Because I know you enjoy an alien movie.
Oh, I love alien movies. I love alien stories.
Okay,
but my problem with the alien, it's not the idea of the Greys.
Okay,
the Greys have in my opinion, completely manufactured mythology, and that mythology makes too much sense to be real.
That's how you know they're not real.
Yeah, that's how I'm like, no, this makes too much sense. You know, like there are the Greys, there are the Blues, they have a purpose, they do a thing, and
there's too much infrastructure in this mythology.
Yeah. Like basically the Whitley Strieber aliens. You know, if we're talking about the Whitley Strieber aliens, I'm like, no, it's completely made up. Like, how do you know? It's like, well, it may not be completely made up. I would also be willing to go with weird acid trip or something of that nature. Weird alternate consciousness experience. Which, okay, yeah, sure. Like that. Give me the drug that lets me talk to the giant triangle-headed aliens and their blue monkey friends. You know, I will fucking take that drug.
I think we've had that, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, I haven't had that exact experience. Put it that way.
Okay. I mean, we've had the thing.
Oh yeah, we've had the thing, but like that hasn't happened yet. But you show me how to make sure that happens. I'll do it because that sounds interesting. Anyway, so that makes way too much sense.
Okay.
You know, a human being thought about that really hard, is what I'm saying. Now, when we move into the more nebulous kind of Roswell-y conspiracy theory type of alien.
Okay.
As opposed to the one that just like kidnaps people, takes whatever cell samples it needs, and then drops you off. Which is what the Strieber aliens are like. You know, it's like, hey, we're just looking for biological material. See ya. Okay, bye. Okay. Oh my God. They found The president knows. Why would he? Why would the president know? If someone, because you didn't pick the Pentagon or the Joint Chiefs, people who've been there a while. You pick the president who is there in his post at most 8 years. That would be the dumbest person to reveal yourself to.
See, that's why I think if any of this is true, I think that Independence Day got it right. The idea that the president doesn't actually know unless for some reason he needs
to. Yeah. If aliens are here and the government does know about it, it's on a need-to-know basis. And the president would not need to know.
I mean, again, what's the whole thing that Daniel Pullman says? It's like, why was I never told about this? 2 words, sir. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, like that, it's like it sounds dumb, but whatever. Now, it's not even guys like what's his nuts, like that crazy guy who says that the fucking government had me build a spaceship, it brought, Area 54 or whatever. I forget the name of that guy, but he's
been on so many documentaries.
Yeah, he's been in so many documentaries, but much like the whole Bigfoot proof, i.e. the Patterson footage, all the proof of aliens comes from one guy.
Which makes it kind of hinky.
Which makes it very hinky. I can even, but here's what it is. All right. We are ascribing, unlike with Bigfoot, there's a level of intelligence that an alien visiting Earth has to have.
Right.
It has to be able to travel interstellar distances. And if it does something, it's probably going to need a reason to do it.
Okay.
So why are we always just randomly kidnapping 2 people in the middle of a field?
I mean,
why do UFOs only kidnap white people? Yeah, think about that.
Well, there's all the UFO sightings that happen in South America. There's a fuck ton that happen in South America.
Well, yeah, but there are also... Yeah, okay, all right. So if you don't consider them white, then that counts.
I don't consider the brown people white. I don't.
But let me put it this way. I don't know any Asian people that have ever claimed to have been kidnapped by an alien. And there's maybe one black guy.
I need to hold on. You watch. There's just a treasure trove of them. It's just that no one's putting them in films.
Entirely possible.
Let's see. Why is there an article called Race, Citizenship, and the Politics of Alien Abduction?
For the same reason I ask why aliens only kidnap white people.
The subtitle is "Why Aliens Do Not Abduct Asian Americans."
Wait, is this person being serious, or is this... Because this sounded like this is this like a Vice article where it's let's talk about how racist aliens are?
No, this thing is hold on. Alien abduction is an inherently American experience. The vast majority of people who report abduction by aliens are American. A fact that is somewhat surprising, given that if contemplated practically, nation as a legal, social, or political structure should have no relevance to the business of abduction.
Yep.
What could be of less significance to aliens in town capturing humans for study or breeding than national borders that can be flown over effortlessly and with a speed that makes detection all but impossible?
Exactly.
I've never asked this question, but that's...
Yeah, think about it. there aren't as nearly as many alien abductions in, like, Canada. And you're like, why not? There are more isolated places in Canada than there are in America with got actual people in them.
Well, okay, but here's what's weird though. Worldwide, there's a fair number of sightings of things that we would categorize as UFOs. So,
Such
like,
as?
such as like weird lights in the sky and weird
okay.
crafts.
If we're just talking about the UFOs themselves, then sure. But we're going into the alien thing. We got to go into like the abductions.
Oh yeah, no. The abduction is a very okay. The abduction thing is also a South American thing these days. It's an American thing.
I think it's because of white people.
If the CIA never went to South America, none of this would have happened.
It would be happening, man. Just telling you. But Canadians are too polite. But yeah, like why is it? I mean, I know there have got to be some Canadians, but why is it almost always Americans?
Actually, you know what's amazing? There's one very specific Canadian case that comes to mind, and it's the exact opposite of an American abduction story.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. Many other cultures have posited alien life and humans' encounters with aliens. The Tripod series from Great Britain, War of the Worlds, a lot of anime, it's out there. But the anal probe and shit like that is almost entirely American.
It is. I cannot find the name of this guy, but there was that Granger Taylor. That was his name. Granger Taylor. This guy living in a small town in northern Canada. This was in the 60s or 70s, I believe. Mid to late 20s. Really smart, really into like engineering and science. He's one of those guys where he'll find an old like broke down locomotive and spend time taking it apart and putting it back together. Like he does the same thing with like cars, and he wants to like pursue engineering and experimental
War of the Worlds.
H.G.
Wells was a British author.
Yeah, H.G. Wells is a British author. And so this dude is like, he's really fascinated by space and science fiction, right? And he claims to have had an experience where he, in several nights over a month, he interacts with these aliens, and they're really friendly, and they have all this knowledge and wisdom of these other systems, and they apparently take a liking to him, and they tell him that, okay, on this night at this time, we'll show up again and you can come with us. And so he very happily tells everyone, he tells his friends and his family, like, yeah, no, I'm going with aliens tomorrow night. I won't be back. And they all think he's just like joking or something, and then he just disappears without a trace.
That's a good story.
Yeah. And to this day, no one knows like what happened to him. There's no sign of foul play. There's nothing about his home that looks like it's out of place. Car's still there. There's no signs of a struggle. Like he's just gone.
Yeah. Oh, as Mausadon said, sad that even extraterrestrials roll up a flying saucer when going through the hood.
See, that's what it is. The only thing, you know what it is? That's what
aliens
it is.
Aliens know they go down to Compton, they're get fucked up. That's what.
No. I was gonna say that's what it is. The only aliens who fuck around.
My cousin Anton said that you fucking put a probe where you shouldn't be putting it, homie.
No. I wasn't saying that. I was not saying that. I was saying that like the only aliens who come to the United States are these fucked up aliens. All the nice aliens go to all the other.
Yeah. What is it about American aliens and the anal probe? like I mean, granted, I could give you a really good answer, which is just cultural homophobia, because it's
Also,
not like we don't have it.
Also, Philip
You know.
Rubin in the chat, didn't Grant Morrison claim that they were abducted by aliens in Kathmandu? No. He communicated with aliens in Kathmandu. That
Yeah.
is different.
Yeah, he communicated with aliens in Kathmandu by casting a magic spell while he was high. Now,
Really high.
yeah, really high. Now, here's the thing. If one is to say, well, then I don't know if those are really aliens, fair. But his response would be, well, I couldn't tell you the functional difference. Also fair.
Yeah, like, how exactly do you describe that? Like, what's the...
Whether or not it's actually E.T. and he's trying to phone home or something is kind of irrelevant to the experience. We always need, but isn't that interesting? Like, we always need like this other intelligence, this other thing to tell us, what we don't know. Isn't that kind of interesting? I wonder if like I wonder if other animals had gotten to like up to our level of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't even want to say self-awareness, because I think that's actually way too, like, that presupposes way too much. But humans have a really complex communication style. So I think it's the thing we probably do better than almost any other animal.
I think something I'm loving right now is that, like, on social media, I follow this dog. This dog named Bunny, who is like a shepherdoodle dog,
Okay,
something like that. Pretty fair sized dog, but she's learning to speak.
Oh, does it have a soundboard?
Yeah, it has a soundboard.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to me because, like, now that she has stuff like language, she's starting to ask very existential questions.
Yeah.
Like I think my favorite so far is that she now understands. She goes like, mom human, dad human, bunny dog. Like, she understands that they're not dogs.
Yeah.
And but she asked the other day, I was watching this, she asked the other day, why mom human?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a really complicated
question.
That's a complicated question with an even more complicated answer.
Yeah, no, and the and the owner, like, she has the camera and you hear her, she goes, I don't know how to answer that. But see, she tries to figure it out.
Stumped me, like, I know what the answer is, but I'm not sure how to communicate this to you.
Yeah, and what I think is so funny is she tries to communicate it but can't, and Bunny can tell, because like, your animal can tell when you're flustered about something.
Yeah,
Bunny can tell that she's flustered, and she just hits the button. She goes, okay, mom bunny stranger friend. She's saying, like, it's okay, mom bunny different but friends, like, it's okay.
yeah you're trying to find that. But what if it was like, but imagine this, what if it was actually trying to fucking communicate something far more metaphysically important? Not
she probably
like imagine that. What if the actual question is not, if you're my mom, why are you human and I'm a dog? Maybe the question really is, why did you choose human? See, I chose dog. Do you not remember when you sat in front of the big choice and there was the dog button and the human button?
And you picked
you picked human, but I picked dog. Don't you remember that? You're like, no, we don't remember that. You don't? All dogs remember that. Yeah, like, that would freak me out. That would freak me out. It'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. Dial it back. Dial it back, Cujo. We need to, like...
See, but here's the thing, though. Like, as this soundboard grows, and as her muscle memory grows, and as her linguistic grip grows, she is communicating more complex ideas. So if that is a thing, that means eventually we're going to get to it.
Yeah, I could like, it's not it doesn't, how to put it.
We get to a point where dogs teach other dogs how to use soundboards.
Yeah, we could get to a point where, if this continues, we could get to a point where we can talk to dogs just like we can talk to, like, 6-year-olds. They're just a little more confident in their word choices.
Where are my balls, Summer?
Where are my balls, Summer? Where are my balls? Where are they gone?
I remember them.
If Gomez learned to use those buttons, I'm afraid. I'd be afraid.
You'd either find.
I'd either find.
You'd either find that your assumption of how the inner workings of his mind are way too accurate, or so far.
I am worried. I am worried that he is going to go, the demons, can't you see them? I see them. And then I'm sitting there going, all right, is my cat crazy, or do cats actually see things that I can't?
I try to protect you from them all the time. Why can't you see
them? Yeah. You just be like, I'm sorry, kitty. Because then that's when the freaky shit would start to happen. Because, like, then other people's cats would say that shit. And then everyone would be like, what the fuck is going on? And then we have to wonder whether, like, are cats just naturally schizophrenic, or is there something actually there that we literally cannot see? And that's going to turn out, it would be like, oh yeah, it turns out cats can see quarks. And it would be
the great beyond was true.
It would be like, how? I'd be like, well, they just can. It's like, this is what a laser. Something I'd be interested to find out is, like, this is what a laser pointer looks like to your cat.
It's like a fucking eye of Sauron.
Yeah. Is it like, yeah, exactly. Is it like, what? Yeah, we know what the visual input must be, but what does its brain come up with that urges it that it must catch this thing?
And why is your cat dumber than the rat in this regard?
Yeah.
I love that. For anyone who doesn't know that, if you do, like, laser pointer with rats, they'll go after it, but they make a step that the cats never do, which is at some point they recognize, wait, hold on. They put their hand down and they see it suddenly on top of their hand.
Yeah, they realize that they can't touch it.
That they recognize, like, oh, wait. This is just one of those shiny things that isn't actually there.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And then they don't go after it again.
Yeah. Like, the rat only chases the thing because if it decides it wants to. Cats seem to be driven towards it. And so I'm like, what is it that your little cat brain is telling you?
That the rat has figured out.
That the rat has figured out, and why? Does it have to, what does it have to do? Does it have something to do with, like, the specific way a cat's eyes work? Do they, like I said, does it look like the eye is Sauron when you see it? They're like, kill it, like.
Must protect the territory.
Yeah. It's like, that's how you know the demons are getting in. I also want to know what the myths of the animals are.
Oh, because they have them.
Yeah, I figure, like, if you have language, then if you have some form of language, then you probably have some form of mythology.
Oh wait, Jack, your story about your friend with the chimpanzees at the Pentagon, like, big. Oh
no, it wasn't the Pentagon. It was a chimpanzee enclosure in Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta, okay, but still, like, big monkey.
Yeah. I come from that monkey come from that monkey. Where do all monkeys come from? Big monkey. And so, like, they have this vague concept of the originator monkey.
Yeah.
or the originator ape, or whatever.
For
I'm
anyone
pretty
who's
sure it was chimpanzee, so it wouldn't be monkey, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but okay, for anyone who doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, so apparently, like, Jack had a friend who worked in an animal closure in Atlanta where they worked with chimps that they taught sign to a certain degree, and they were asking, like, okay, like, they were asking, like, the chimps, like, hey, well, okay, so where do you come from? And the chimp would say, oh, I come from that ape. It's a parent. Okay, where's that ape from? That ape come from that ape. Where's that ape come from? That ape comes from another ape. Where do all apes come from? Big ape. Big ape, source of all ape.
Yeah. Like, it was a very very rudimentary mythology, where it's basically like, well, there's probably a big monkey that just makes all of us. I mean, that's not strictly true, but, like, is that any weirder than what humans come up with? In fact, that sounds dead on like what humans come up with.
Which I love. I love the concept that, like, oh yeah, no, like myths and progeneration stories are just born into you because you're an organism that can think about it.
Yeah, because you know that there was a time before you.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that's always staring you in the face. It's like free will. It's staring you in the face all the time. You can't get away from it. You can try to deliberately blind yourself to it, but I would question why. Yeah, turtles all the way down. Exactly. It's the same type of shit.
It's all turtles, man.
It's all turtles, man. And to be fair, I find myself constantly going, well, that doesn't make any sense, but at least there's consistency. Like, sometimes that's all I'm looking for.
We appreciate a consistent storyline.
Yeah. Like, it just makes, okay, there's a certain amount of, it makes sense and it's not making sense. If something doesn't make sense, but it makes sense, then I'm like, okay. Like, I'm usually okay with that. I'm not gonna necessarily believe it unless it pleases me to do so. But, I'm not gonna I don't get angry. Like, if you believe in the giant monkey in the sky and you act in accordance with what you believe that monkey has told you, and that monkey, and what that monkey has told you has some sort of, like, through line to it, I'm like, sure, yeah, okay, I don't know.
Praise the great
praise the big monkey, like, yay, like, that's your god, fine, got it. I don't need to worry about it unless your god says that I need to die or do something I don't want to do, we're fine.
Yeah, and if you start fighting amongst yourselves about the words of the great monkey, then we have a problem.
Yeah. Then we're going to start having an issue. But like, okay, one of the things that the last 4 years have taught me, or actually rather a hypothesis that I have come up with over the last 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah. Has been this. Some people are really good at using logic to influence their own behavior. And some people are really good at being really bad at it. Because there's a method to it. There's, like, this weird method to it.
To being bad at it.
To being bad at it. Yeah. Like, for example, how do you say to you it would be an abhorrent state of being to say to do your own research and then to follow that up with the only person you can trust is Trump? No, don't even put Trump there. Put anything in that place. That
hurt my brain.
Yeah, that hurts your fucking brain, because your brain knows that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, those are mutually exclusive statements.
Yeah, it knows what a mutually exclusive statement is.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Whereas to some people, that makes all the sense in the world. It shouldn't, but it does. Because they'll do that. people will do that. You know, the MAGA people would do that all the time on camera while being recorded. They will say things like, "Yeah, we're not sheeple, but you need to do exactly what we tell you."
That's the definition.
Wait, what?
That's what it means to.
Yeah, and if you plot out the definition of all the words in those statements, the definitions are 100% in sync. They know what a sheeple is supposed to be, and they know what following is, and they know what they know all the words, but they put together this statement that makes no sense.
I'm not
because
gonna lie,
they don't because I think their minds are just really bad at figuring out, at probabilistic thinking, among other things.
Okay, I'm bothered by what's
or contextual thinking.
Jack, I'm legitimately bothered by this because I've never thought about it that much, but now that you've laid it out in this way, I'm like,
yeah, because like it doesn't make enough sense that it's just stupidity. You know, like, the stupid is as stupid does, no doubt, but still, there's this consistency to the stupid. You know, because it comes up again and again and again and again and again. So I'm like, it's like, I obviously there is a malfunction, but the malfunction does not seem to be a lack of understanding of what words mean. It seems to be a lack of understanding of what a contradiction is.
Wait. Maybe it's... Okay. Maybe it's like Christianity.
Okay, there's plenty of evidence to suggest that is very correct.
Okay, but all right. So maybe that's how we understand this then. It's understanding that, okay, the only people who will say you've got to do your own research, but Trump is always right.
Yeah.
Those people, the only people who say that are people who already believe that Trump is right.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that way, it's much like Christianity. Oh yeah, no, go do your own research and explore.
And you'll find that what I am telling you is true, but I don't have to do any of that because I already have the truth.
And the truth is so truey McTrue that it will become self-evident to anyone who legitimately does research, because that's what happened to me, and I'm a smart person. So if you come back and say that I'm wrong, it just means that you didn't actually do real research.
Well, it's also like people who don't understand A, how big the Bible is, and B, how short the Constitution is.
Yes.
Like, have you ever read... You ever read a book by Beverly Cleary?
No, I have not.
Oh. Are you familiar with her?
Yeah, I know who she is.
All right,
yeah.
You know who Beverly Cleary is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I've seen her.
There are more words in a Beverly Cleary book than there are in the Constitution.
Oh, yeah, no, it's... Like, how to put it? Sure, it's a big piece of paper, but it's a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper, yeah. And with a couple of other... with some other shit written below it in the margins. Like, they believe...
I have a physical copy of the Constitution somewhere. It's a pocket.
Yeah, you have a little. Yeah, you can get a little pocket booklet. It's
like
everything.
This thin. It's
not,
thin.
Yeah, it's not big at all.
Yeah.
It's not big at all. You could read the whole Constitution in about an hour. You know?
The Jefferson Bible takes more to get through than the...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like, your history... The chapter in most textbooks describing the history of the Constitution is longer than the Constitution.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I think is really, and because it is so short, One of the things that I always thought was very suspicious is the fact that under no circumstances are you expected to commit this piece of I shouldn't call it a piece of shit, but this fucking political document to fucking memory. But you're supposed to know the entire book of Job.
There are some people who do.
Yeah, and there are some people who do. But hell, there are a lot of people who know every word of the Koran.
Oh yeah, no, my I had a friend in college who was Turkish, and she got a certificate from her mosque for reciting like several entire surahs without stopping from memory. Like she got like a commendation for that. Like she got like she was considered like very pious in her community for doing that. But so yeah, that's a thing that happens.
Yeah. Like you could commit the entire Constitution to memory if you really tried, but they knew that you probably didn't want to, so they wrote it down. So that you could just read it and just be like, oh, okay. But why isn't that something you're tested on in school? Like, sure, we got the preamble, but like after that,
I'm so fucking done with the preamble.
Yeah, it's like, for example, what are all 10 of the Bill of Rights?
Duh.
Exactly. It's like freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms, 4, illegal, barring against illegal search and seizure, like, no. and then no one knows because we don't read it.
I think oh god, it's within the first 6. I forget where it lies, but within the first like 5 or 6, there is the right of every person born upon U.S. soil to be a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, Amendment 1, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Amendment 2, well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state, the right to the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, the funny thing is this.
That's intentionally vague.
It's a little vague, but I do have to say this. Anyone is allowed to have any weapon whatsoever is, in fact, in my opinion, a legitimate reading of it. I'm not saying that's a good thing. But if we're going to be literalists about this, sure.
Oh yeah, I can see where people get that interpretation from. That's like,
okay, it's not like it doesn't come out of that interpretation does not come out of Crazy Town. Thinking that it should be applied unilaterally to all weapons all the time, always, it comes from Crazy Town.
Yeah.
It
also comes from, like a concept of like, I hate to be this guy, especially on your show, Jack, because I know that you're a very American man. Founding fathers were not the brightest people.
Oh, they weren't. No. Well, more importantly, the Second Amendment. The biggest defender of the Second Amendment was Thomas Jefferson. Why? Very simple. He was afraid that the English were going to invade again, and he was right. They did.
Yep, yeah, they did. But I bring up them not necessarily being like the brightest, like, crowns in the box. I say that because look, we have seen great men and women be able to have like a sense of forethought that goes like a couple generations ahead of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a thing, people can have that much of an insight. That being said, like, I don't think it was within the tenacity of the Founding Fathers to really consider how much farther firearms would evolve past where they were at the time.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing. The Second Amendment starts to come into slightly sharper focus when you get to the Third and the Fourth.
Yep.
No soldier Amendment 3, no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. Basically,
my house, go away.
Yeah. Soldiers can't just enter your house unless the law says they can.
Which was a thing that the British were doing quite
frequently. Yeah, basically you don't have to house soldiers unless we have taken the time to actually say you gotta,
or you want to.
Yeah, I mean, you can if you want. Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. Basically, you're not allowed to fucking go into, government's not allowed to come in and look at your shit unless it specifically states where it's looking and what it's looking for.
Yeah, it kind of tickles me pink, like the anti-maskers who were like, this is a violation of my Fourth Amendment rights. And I'm just like,
Fourth Amendment has nothing to do with it.
But they say that, though. I've seen them say that. And I'm like, that's not what that... No.
Yeah, because it's about unreasonable search and seizure. It's not about making you do something. The Fourth Amendment is specifically, the government's not allowed to do shit unless it tells you what it wants to look, what it's looking for, and where specifically.
Again, I don't understand these people.
Yeah, and that, like, basically it has to tell a third person it has to tell someone else what it's doing. So that there's accountability. Amendment 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury.
Yeah, it's the right against self-incrimination.
Yeah. Except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb. Basically, you can only be tried for a crime once. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of liberty or property without due process of law. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Basically, eminent domain. We can take it, but we have to give you money for it. We have to pay you somehow.
Yeah.
And everyone has to agree that, and enough people have to agree that it's fair. Amendment 6. In all criminal prosecutions, the accustomed shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witness against him, to have the compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Basically, you get a lawyer and you get to know who's accusing you of what.
Yes. Yes, most of the time that is true.
Yeah. Amendment 7. In suits at common law where the value and controversy shall exceed $20, it's really weird that it got that specific.
I'm sorry, start that one again.
In suits at common law where the value and controversy shall exceed $20.
Okay.
The right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law.
That is oddly specific.
Yeah. I know. So basically, if two people are arguing over a matter of $20 or more, they have a right to trial by jury. And no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the law, the rules of the common law. Basically, if your town makes a judgment You can't then go to the state. Sorry, if a state makes a judgment, you can't then necessarily go to the federal court if it's civil, if it's a property dispute.
I now want to get into an argument with someone over a value of like $21 exactly, and then just be like, I'm gonna take you to court. The Constitution says I can.
Yeah. Eighth Amendment, very important. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted.
Well, we don't do that one anymore. We don't. Because remember, we were able to sidestep the Bill of Rights because of the Patriot Act. It was a brilliant decision.
Yeah.
Torture works even when it doesn't. Believe us. There's not a 500-page document that was published by.
Yeah. Well, the only reason, to be fair, like the only, how to put it, you always want to know where they put that shit in Guantanamo. Because it's not technically the United States. It's true.
Still, have you ever read that document though?
Which one?
What is it? The 500-page summarization of the Senate hearing committee on the state of torture.
Oh, I haven't read all 500 pages of it, but I've read some of the juicier excerpts.
I've listened to that version of Helen Mirren reading it.
Oh.
There's a version of Helen Mirren just reading it.
Okay, I am now fascinated. All right, Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Basically, you can't create a right that specifically takes rights away from somebody else.
Bullshit. They do it all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, this was, the Ninth Amendment is the big racism sticking point. That's why they always go like, private enterprise. They can do whatever they want. It's so specifically they don't have to answer the Ninth Amendment.
I think now, if anything, I think if anything, that gives them more ground to nail these bastards to the wall on it, because that whole thing of like, oh, okay, private industries are people. They're people now. Guess what? If they're people,
exactly. If they're people, then they have to go by the laws of people.
And Ninth Amendment is law of people.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they're not. A business is not allowed to should not be allowed to specifically discriminate against you. It doesn't have to necessarily do the exact thing that you want, but it cannot stop you from. It can't. Yeah. What? Oh, okay. What is it? Okay. Yeah, I'll come get some in a little bit. Yeah, also, you're gonna need your help on the sink. The sink? It's doing a thing. Uh-oh. All right. I better go check. All right. Last one. Amendment 10. The power is not delegated by the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited to it by the state, or reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Basically, federal government is not allowed to just tell you what's what. If your state says otherwise, that rule goes. If your group has a rule that says otherwise, that goes.
Unless it's
it's in contradiction with anything else. Yeah.
Yep.
Powers not delegated to the United States by Constitution or prohibited to it by the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. All right. I'm going to go get this. I'm going to go deal with this sink problem. Be right back. All right, what's the sink problem?
Hi, everybody. Save for weed. Oh God. Well, save for weed. Well, that's because the reason like weed's in like a weird place is because there was a decision to allow states to make those decisions, but at the same time it's federally illegal, so it's fucking weird. It's just weird. Thank you, Melissa. Hello, Dr. Yogi. Oh, thank you saying I look good tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that. You saw Let Us Pray with your mom. How'd she like it? How did you like it? How did you enjoy that experience? Mr. Grim Reaper 512. I'm doing okay. Thank you, man. How you doing? Thank you for asking after me. I appreciate it. Oh my God, it's a K. Oh, fuck. I had a long evening at work, and now I'm bullshitting with these people. Oh, God. I hope everyone had a wonderful 420, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Earth Day. Because, of course, those two are next to each other. Why the fuck would it not be? Oh, Melissa, you got your second vaccine shot today. Lovely. How are you feeling? You feeling okay? Because like sometimes that round two, it fucks with you. We just a few more deregulations away from being on the alcohol's level. Yeah, no, I agree. It's weird to me because I'm like, this is a substance that overall does far less damage than alcohol. It's like, I'm not asking why it's illegal, because I know why it's illegal. The answer is racism and paper mills. But the reason why people still think that it deserves more regulation than alcohol is beyond me. Oh, Earth Day is today, actually. I don't know anymore. I'm just... All right, well, I hope everyone has a happy Earth Day. I'll say that. Okay, you got your second vax on 420. Nice. See, saw Barbarella with my mother. Was an awkward time considering we were expecting something like Star Wars. I was 8 at the time. Yeah, no, that would fuck with that concept. You were asleep today, but you feel fine. Okay, fair enough. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm so cold. So old. Still waiting on the vaccine here in Thailand, and we just had another major outbreak. Oh shit, man. I'm sorry. I'm like positive vibes, Day Chilton. Like wishing like all the best for you and yours, man. Yogi, do you like MS3TK? I do. I also enjoy riff tracks. I enjoy that concept in general. I enjoy riffing on movies. Local dispenser in my town had a 420 sale, and the line was around the block. I can imagine. Hey, Simon.
Sorry about that. So it turns out sink is clogged, and I'm pretty sure I know what did it. I was peeling potatoes earlier, and I think the potato skins just gummed up the works. Pipes are fine.
See, this is what happens when you do not respect the potato.
I think
You give no proper
Yeah.
respect to this spot, and this is what happened.
Yeah. It just gums up your fucking thing. And so, but here's the thing, which is in order to fix it, I have to take the U-bend out. And I'm like, I'm not doing that right now. I'll do that later. When
I am neither eating nor
streaming, you know.
Also, can we enjoy this for a second? If I clutch it like this, it's grandmother. But if I let it like this, especially with this, I'm just like, I am the highest of the temple elements.
Mm-hmm. You're the Virgin Mary.
I mean, I was okay.
Oh man.
I was hoping for more of a satanic high priest vibe or like a mad Arab vibe, but fuck it. I suppose
No.
works.
If you want to be a mad Arab, you have to have a ridiculous mustache.
While muttering about the whispering in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. I don't know why you need a weird mustache. It just seems to be like you need. If you want to be a mad Arab, you just gotta have a weird mustache. Just not the toothbrush one, because that's just Hitler. Do you notice that? You have a toothbrush mustache, you're just Hitler now? No matter what else is going on. You could be wearing a yarmulke, now you're still Hitler.
Well, how to put it? Apparently all the hard work.
You could be dressed like Santa Claus. No, you Hitler. Easter Bunny be Hitler. What I'm saying, Flashman, is that if we put you in a hood and had you like screaming about the darkness and the threshold, I think everyone would just assume you. Yeah, they did be like, yeah, that's what Abdul Hazared looks like. They just buy it.
That works.
Yeah, just don't have a toothbrush mustache, otherwise, like I said, now you're Hitler.
Yeah, no, like apparently, Jack, I don't know what to tell you. Apparently, and I don't know why. Apparently, Charlie Chaplin and Oliver Hardy are just not as notorious as
Yeah. Well, I mean, let me put it this way: like, if you dress like Charlie Chaplin and have the toothbrush mustache, you can theoretically convince people you're not Hitler. But there is a lot of evidence that you have to like be bringing to the table.
Well, yeah, you have to have
that
like
hat. You need that little old tux. You need that cane and those spats.
Those fucking big shoes, and you need like the fucking like mound of messy hair.
Yeah. If you don't have all of that, you're Hitler. You know, you got to have all of it. Otherwise, you're just Hitler. Yes, Kitty? You don't say. Are there demons? Why are you looking over there now?
Because there are demons.
What goes on in your little kitty brain?
I don't know why I'm here.
It is not the amount of brain that I worry about. It is what is it doing? I feel like Gomez is as smart or as dumb as the average cat.
I'll take that.
You know,
I've spent some time with him. I agree.
Yeah, he may not be. He may be not especially intelligent, but he's not especially stupid. But I am constantly wondering what's going on.
God, it's so weird. I look like my great grandmother going to church.
You look like a bully.
Yeah, I look like my great grandmother going to church. Like, wait, no, hold on. You've seen Dracula Dead and loving it.
Oh yeah.
Please, my son, take this cross. It's like, damn it, just take the cross. That'll be 15 kopecks.
Perfect. Man.
Like, no, legit. I'll be honest with you. No, really, really. Specifically, that woman for those 5 minutes in Dracula Dead and Loving It. That is probably my favorite depiction of a Romani person in mainstream media, and that's a problem.
What's weird?
That's a problem.
I know what you mean, because like it's like the old Asian like kind of shyster lady, you know, unreasonable landlord / shifty jewel merchant, you know, who's some vague form of Asian. You know, you don't even know. You're like, oh, Korea, Chinese, Apan. I don't know. You know,
well, because how to put it,
that.
I always interpret her character as like she's earnestly actually trying to help him, but him being dumb white man won't listen, and she finally just gets mad and just goes, "God damn it, just take the fucking."
Well, isn't that that's always the fucking question that I have. You know, like you come up to me with a cross and someone says, "This will protect you from the vampire." Look, I'm a Satan guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably take it. You know, it'd just be like,
just
really?
in case.
Cool. Just in case. Now, if I go, ha, and the guy's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, well, yeah, hey. Old gypsy woman gave it to me. I mean, can you blame me? No, I totally see where you're coming from on that one. You know?
Like, they're usually right.
You know?
I mean, how to put it, like, we kind of came up with vampires, so, yeah. We would know.
Yeah, Dead and Loving It. Yeah, the forgotten fucking Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah, why does no one remember?
No one remembers that that's Mel Brooks. Yeah,
which is weird because it's so Mel Brooks. He's also right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he plays Van Helsing, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
You know, it's. Although I don't know why my favorite is, I still love that bit where he like tells his brides to like, you know, fuck off, you know, and then they float away, but then step off the fucking thing that they're floating on and then just walk off.
Well, yeah, because they're floating away and he's just like, cut that out.
No.
They just start walking.
Okay, fine. You know.
Like, you think this makes me proud of you?
Well, this is the other thing that I've noticed about people who tend to have paranormal experiences. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say that. People who go around loudly advertising that they have had paranormal experiences.
Okay.
Because I think more people have had weird shit happen to them than, you know, can ever be interviewed on television.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you. Everyone here listening and watching, I guarantee you all know at least 2 people who have had some form of experience, but maybe they just don't fucking talk about it.
Yeah, because some people don't.
Yeah.
You know, but the people who do and do it loudly never. Sorry. The thing that pisses me off is they never fucking do the shit that I recommend.
Such as?
Oh my God, my granddad is haunting me and he's throwing books around and he's, you know, yada, 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 yada. What do I do? I'm like, okay, here's what you do. Next time he starts doing that, you start saying, Grandpa, I need you to knock it the fuck off. The fuck is wrong with you? You're throwing books around like an asshole. Is this what you want to be doing for your fucking eternity? Throwing books off the fucking shelf? Is that who you are? Huh?
Is that who you want me to know you as?
Yeah, is that who you want me to know you as? Like, oh, hey, you want me to know you as like, oh yeah, that's a granddad. He fought in World War II, and then when he died, what did he do? He just started throwing books around everywhere, because that's apparently who he is.
Like an asshole.
Yeah, like a fucking asshole. Like, what are you fucking doing? Ooh, I'm in the curtains. Ooh, I'm randomly playing the piano. And you can't even play it that well. You do like, dun, 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 and that's it. What the fuck? You fucking died, now you can't play the piano anymore? Is that how that works? Stop it. I don't have time for this.
You know, I'm so amazed that people don't take that advice, Jack.
Yeah.
I'm so amazed.
Yeah, it's like, that's how you handle a ghost. Like, fucking knock that shit off. It's like, but what if it starts doing really powerful shit at you? Well, I mean, then you've got
Then
proof.
you know.
then you know the ghost is powerful.
Yeah, actually, I don't know what this is. It's very strange. To me, it's very strange, especially as like a Romani person. This is very strange to me because like I come from a background and culture of like, oh God, like we think the house is haunted. Okay, let's try to provoke a response. What?
Okay,
Yeah.
Quick, everyone grab a stick, shake it at a wall, and so knock that shit off, stupid ghost.
See what happens.
Old shit.
See what happens.
Yeah.
You know, there's you probably know this, like especially if you like know people who are involved in like Appalachian folk magic and shit like that. You know, you got shit like throwdown bowls.
Oh, I actually don't know how those work.
Oh, throwdown bowls. It's this concept of, okay, you think there's a spirit in the house? Fine, we gonna get these herbs here. We gonna douse them in grain alcohol and put them in a bowl and blame them. Why? You provoke a response. It's like, well, what if nothing happens? Well, then we start increasing this, like, into more serious and provoking herbs until we get to the point of commanding a response, and if nothing happens,
and then if that doesn't work, then well, you made it up. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, well, what if you provoke a response and it gets mad and starts doing worse shit? Well, then we know what it is.
You know what we're dealing with then, you know? Like, you have an idea. We get our fucking minds around it. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. How to put it? I'm not going to use names because I'm pretty sure someone could get fired or in trouble for this. But I happen to know of a witch, and when I say witch, I'm not talking Jack. I'm talking legit, like mountain witch. Like, okay, I know,
okay,
like a witch,
like hoodoo and shit.
Yeah, actually, yeah. She's a root worker.
Okay,
and her significant other is a chaos magician.
Okay, all right. So that puts us in the land of what you're talking about. Got it.
Yeah, that puts us in the land of like, no, we don't do that love and light bullshit Gardnerian crap here.
Oh God. Look, I'm not saying that Gardnerian doesn't have a purpose, but allow me to quote fucking Blackadder. Look, there's nothing intellectual about wandering around Italy in a big shirt trying to get laid. Kind of the same thing.
You know, but so
now that I have disparaged someone's fucking fuck you, I worship the devil. I give a shit. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, you know, much like how, you know, but no. Okay, but you know, these are people on our side of the spectrum. You know, much how like I am a folk magician and a yogi, and you are an accomplished occultist and Satanist. Like, yeah, you know, this is our side of the spectrum, right? So I happen to know this root worker and witch who knows a Catholic priest who they are friends with. And this Catholic priest happens to be one of the handful of people in the United States who are so poised by the Vatican to handle cases of exorcisms. And
okay,
this Catholic priest may on the reg, like call her for help because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Well,
or more specifically, he is grain of salt, because what you believe is what you believe. But
hey, look, I got. Hey, like if I was ever in, like when I become an old geezer, if I'm the dude in town that the local priest is like calls up and is like, oh, Dr. Jack, yeah, we got some Satan stuff going on. Okay, what do we What are we talking about? Are people seeing ghosts? Does it have arms and legs? Like, does it have horns? What are we dealing with? You know, and then just to have me come in and go like, slap someone in the face and go, knock that shit off, and then leave, that'd be great.
I mean, also, one, yes. Also, like, I mean to the point where this priest has called her saying, yeah, I've got a problem. What's the problem? Person possessed by a demon. Okay, what's the problem? It told me it doesn't answer to my God, and when I said that, what are you talking about? My God created the world, it laughed at me and went, no, he fucking didn't.
God damn it, you blinked. First of all, you blinked. That's on you. Second of all, you can't be telling demons that shit. They're fucking demons, okay? They don't like that. They no demon fucking possesses somebody not ready for that kind of dumbass shit. You know, do you believe in God? Look, you're a preacher. Your faith in the Almighty is about as shaky as it fucking gets. So let's not fucking pretend. Second of all, did you slap her and say, knock that shit off? I'm annoyed. I got a cigarette and a bake sale to run. I don't need this shit. That's what I done.
But I mean, apparently this has happened to him enough times that he's now, like, in a part of realization of, like, wait, Yahweh didn't create the universe, did he? And the witch, who I know, is like, no, I'm sorry, honey, he didn't.
Sorry.
But you can believe he did if it helps.
You know, aren't I supposed to, like, praise Jesus or pray to the Almighty or think pure thoughts or something like that? Yeah, if you like. Will that help? No.
It's like, well, what's the deal with this elixir, egg? Great buzz.
Yeah. Well, it's like my favorite ingredient for best ingredient for Goofa dust. Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Off brand if you can find it.
Personally, just for flavor, I like to mix it with some charcoal ash. But you know, that's just.
Oh yeah. That's personal touches. You know, don't go Gold Bond. I mean, like, come on. None of that fancy shit.
None of that fancy
shit.
It's you know, medicated cornstarch powder with menthol. Man, this is
get
bougie.
That shit out of here.
Get this boozy shit out my room.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait, Flashman's like, wait, what?
Oh no, just talking about, like, you know, making like dusts and powders and stuff, and now it's all basically like, you know, dollar store. You know, the real ingredient is dollar store fucking talcum powder.
Oh, yeah. No. Okay. No witch or, like, folk magician or anything like that worth their salt can't go into a dollar store and come out with a ritual.
Yeah. It's...
If you can't, you fucked up. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, like, this is about...
If you can't go into a dollar store and come out with a spell, and if you can't take a Sharpie marker and use it as a ritual wand, you fucked up. I'm sorry, you're not gonna go that far.
Yeah. You know, like there was I liked oh god, I think it was a real Ghostbusters episode. Yeah, in fact, yeah, it was. Where the Ghostbusters go to New Orleans and find the one white mambo that lives there. Don't ask.
I mean, they
exist, but yeah. I'm like, really?
I mean, they kind of look like me.
Done by a white woman in this guy thing. God damn it! You know, but she pulls out this powder and banishes a ghost, and they're like, "What's in that?" And she's like, "Baby powder." Well,
they're like, but it's just baby powder. Yeah. Then how? Don't fucking question.
But don't fucking question that shit, okay?
Did you or did you not just see it work?
Did that ghost get banished or not? Because if it did, shut your fucking face. Um,
Simultaneously, I always think it's like, okay, especially since like I'm in the position of having like dealt with ceremonial magic and shit. I always think it's really funny when people. I always think it's really funny when people like manifest something. Like now, whether or not you believe that there actually is an entity that they're dealing with, or it's just in their head, whatever.
Yeah. When they like make a tulpa, essentially.
Yeah. But when people deal with like essentially a big entity, and then they're like, "I've got sage and salt," that bitch, that ain't gonna do shit.
No, it's. Yeah, I'll tell you. Oh,
that's like throwing a burrito at a Mack truck. That ain't gonna do shit.
Dude. Sorry, look at something Flashman said. So I'm like, oh, dude, like imagine this one. All right, so got the baby powder, right? Do the ritual. Ghost is not banished. Then you find out Ghost is Japanese. And that's how you know you fucked up, because you didn't buy it from a Daiso. So you gotta go find a Daiso. Because it will respect Japanese-made talcum powder.
This is why you always have to carry a bag of red beans in your pocket. Just in case.
Oh man, I wonder if do kidney beans work, or do they, you know?
I believe red beans are. I believe technically they're on the same branch of the legume family, but you can just get red. I have red beans, like you can just get those now, so I don't really think it matters. Like,
yeah. I mean, like, well, it's just weird because I don't usually use like red beans in anything. I mean, unless they're kidney beans.
I think something that I think is hilarious is I remember seeing a Korean, like a South Korean Buddhist nun, perform an exorcism with red beans and a bell, and it was actually kind of hilarious to watch.
Oh yeah. All these rituals are ridiculous. Like
no, because the quote unquote possessed girl, she was really freaking out, man. Like she was really going through it, but just to see like this nun like just not give a shit. Like everyone else is like, oh my god, what? And the nun just has a look on her face of, I've seen this so many times. You've no fucking idea. This is so normal to me by now. And she's just like throwing red beans at this girl and ringing this giant bell and just going, Hwah! Hwah! And I'm just like, I love this. I love this nun who is like too tired of this bullshit today.
Yeah, just tired of your just don't care about your crap.
It's like, Ghost, I don't give a shit. Get the fuck out of this girl right now.
I don't got time for this.
Time for your bullshit. Go back to the land of the ancestors. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, do some, or why? No, I just realized something.
Mm-hmm.
Needs to be a bit in like Hispanic horror movie, Ghost House, Ghost Story or something.
Yeah.
Where Abuelo is just sort of like, oh yeah, okay, there's ghosts in the house, but her actual response is like, tell him to do the dishes. Do the dishes. It's gonna live here. It's gonna live under my roof. Like, don't you fuck. It's like the ghost is playing the piano, throws a shoe. Oh,
Exercised by the
my house now. You fucking what? No.
Exercised by the
Ghost,
power of the Jackula.
Get your ass in that kitchen, watch them dishes. Do something useful around here. Oh man.
Oh, actually, hold up. I found the video.
Oh, cool.
Hold up. I'm gonna share this with you. Go to it's a 4-minute video. Go to 1 minute 27 seconds in when I send it, I guess.
Okay.
Because how to put it, it's a white British dude talking about, I'm here in Korea, and you don't want to fucking hear that.
Right. I don't give a shit. That's not the interesting bit.
It's like, I don't give a shit what Whitey got to say.
Yeah. It's like, god damn it. Sorry, thinking about the word white and magic. God damn it.
I know. I'm sorry.
White. I can't stand that guy. Fucking, I swear to God. Guy's such an asshole.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. It's just like this middle-aged Korean nun, and she's just like, I ain't got no time for fucking ghosts and shit.
Okay, you said like 1 minute
and like 27.
All right. 26.
Suddenly the lights go out and dried red beans are thrown around the room. Apparently, spirits don't like red beans. The girl then faints.
She's like, I'm so done with this. Get out right now.
She wakes up and starts going berserk, and then collapses again.
I'll ring louder. I don't give a shit.
Well, here's the thing. You do gotta hand it. You gotta hand it to the way Asians handle like exorcism. You know, because like, in the West, it's like power of Christ compels you, blah, 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 blah. No, here they're ringing gongs and bells and shit. And this is all working on the, well, yeah, wouldn't you want to get the fuck out of there, fucking principle? It's annoying, like, oh God, I'm gonna start ringing the bells, man. Like, it's like, oh, are they the bells? No, it's fucking loud. It's annoying. Fine.
It's like, do the red.
Fine, well, fuck off. What do the red beans do? It's like Chinese water torture. It's like, not a lot, but like they keep throwing them, and you're like, knock that the fuck off. You just get
exactly.
more irritated.
Exactly. It's one of those things like, oh, do red beans have some type of mystical, magical power? And the magical power of annoying the fuck out of you and making you want to leave.
Yeah. Like there's a strange logic. Yeah, I would probably be screaming if you were fucking ringing bells that loud that close to me. Jesus. 5 minutes later, okay.
So she started seeing ghosts all around her. That's what freaked her out. Not surprised. Freak anybody out, that, wouldn't it? She actually feels warm to the touch, but she's experiencing cold and she's shaking.
I wasn't supposed to look, and I looked, and I saw ghosts everywhere, and it freaked me out.
Well, like I find my, but I mean, like, why?
Yeah, no, Stacy's right. Make it uncomfortable, like the unwanted guest it is.
Yeah, well, it's like when people like I get it when like okay, all right, you schizophrenic, that takes a million different forms.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's in voices that talk to you. I imagine it'd be kind of hard to listen to the thoughts in your head while that kind of racket's going on. Also, but more importantly, why is the go-to never to just tell them out? Are we all just too polite?
Except for
tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
Yes. Yeah, no, except for and this is why. I think this is why whenever, think about it, right? Like the old mystic woman, like the old cunning woman or the old medicine man, what's the whole thing, right? What makes them a shaman or what makes them a witch? They're fucking rude and they don't give a shit.
Yeah. It's like the universal fucking attribute is not giving a fuck.
Yeah, so maybe there is something to that. Like, it's like, why do we need this rude motherfucker to get the spirits out? Well, because we're all too polite to tell them to leave.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, leave. What is wrong with you? I just want to live in a house. Well, then why do you have to be an asshole about it? I just want attention. Okay, then. This we can deal with.
Okay, look. If the family lights a stick of incense and gives you a piece of fruit in the morning and says like, oh, great spirit or whatnot, can you fuck off?
Yeah, would you stop with the throwing shit off the walls and making weird noises in the night? And then someone goes like, well, the weird noises in the night are me having ghost sex with the ghost next door. Could you do it outside? I mean, you ghosts. Does it fucking matter? Does it really?
Are you really bound to this house, or are you just an asshole?
You're just an asshole, you know? Like, fucking, let's just give you a spot in the basement. Where's that? That's the ghost fucking room. It's like, what happens in the ghost fucking room? Exactly what you think happens. You know, like
it's just designated as the ghost.
Yeah. Ghosts just fucking there. Like, well, what do they do? I don't know. I ain't a ghost. You know.
Actually,
oh my god, it was like, oh god, I loved. That reminds me of this one episode of the X-Files that I fucking always loved, which was the one that had the guy who played the Frankenstein's monster in Young Frankenstein in it. And he plays a guy who is psychic, but at random times. Like, he can't make it happen.
It's an occurrence.
Yeah, it's an occurrence. And he's always trying to win the lottery, but it never works.
Shit, I'd be trying too.
Yeah. But, like, my favorite part of that is that whenever he goes into, like, a trance, he just starts talking about shit. You know, like he's talking to this one guy about, well, I know that it doesn't look like you need a life insurance policy now, but like in 2 or 3 years, you're going to be coming up this road and it's going to be dark and it's not going to be your fault, but you're just not going to see that fucking other car coming. Sir? Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. Is this a bad time? You need to leave this house right now. Okay, so he's like that. He's a weirdo. And they're tracking this fucking killer. And for some reason, he can predict what the killer is going to do. So, there's a point at which he is confronted by the killer. The psychic encounters the killer. And the killer's like, I've heard of you. You know about me. Well, I don't know about that. But I know that you can tell me why I have to kill all these people. Why do I kill them all? You kill them all because you're a psychopathic maniac. Oh, actually, this does make a lot of sense. And then the guy,
that's when he's like, oh, I guess I am just fucking crazy.
Yeah, and then he pulls a gun out on him, and he's like, whoa, wait. You don't kill me yet. You don't kill me here. Why not? And he just looks at the guy and he goes, how should I fucking know? And I was like, this is my favorite depiction of a man with psychic powers.
Because it's the most realistic.
Yeah, because wouldn't that fucking get to you? You gotta realize, it's only 2 weeks fucking journey between being in the dead zone and being this guy. Who is just fucking done.
Okay.
He's fucking done.
No. Let me share something. No, seriously. Let me share something with this. Because okay. A difference between you and I is that you mainly do divination for yourself and at certain times.
Yeah.
I do it all the time for everybody.
Ah.
You know this about me. I've made money.
Yeah. You
this is
do fortune telling. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And there's a problem with having your intuition turned up that much all the time. And that is that sometimes it doesn't shut the fuck up and you would like it to.
Yeah, absolutely. You start to it's really easy to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, sometimes I don't want to analyze what I'm seeing. Sometimes I don't want to.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where it's no, the problem is examining your thoughts all the time does in fact make you go crazy. At some point you need to be able to trust that what you're thinking is what you're thinking.
Yes.
And that's sometimes that could be a tall order if you're arguing with yourself. It's why It's why gaslighting is considered such an invasion.
God, it really is.
Yeah, because like you're arguing about observable reality. Don't we argue enough about unobservable reality? We argue enough about perceptions. We don't need to be arguing about reality. Damn. You
Too bad, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but that's what we do. Like, we do it all the time, and it's really easy for someone who is superficially charming to do that.
Yes.
Now, the funny thing is I've given it a lot of thought, and I was like, why is it always superficially charming? And I thought about it, and I was like, oh, because if you were actually charming, then you wouldn't want to do that to somebody.
No, you tend to not be that big of a dick.
Yeah, because that's considered rude, at the very least. At the very least, it's rude. It's not a nice thing to do to somebody. That's like punching him in the face. Like, that's not something a nice person's supposed to do.
But Clarice, how do you know he's not going to hunt you down? I don't know how else to explain it. He would consider that rude.
Yeah. Yeah, like the funny thing is I found myself going like, well, don't push him too hard. Because if he won't do it just because he thinks it's rude, then,
You're pretty safe then.
You're pretty safe, but don't piss him off too bad. Like, he might forget his manners. People forget manners all the time.
Especially psychopaths.
Yeah, especially psychopaths. But I am still fascinated by. I'm so fascinated by the way people think. Like, and one of the things that really freaks me out are people that just. Killing is just a normal answer.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Like, like you wonder what it's one of those things where you're like, what are we dealing with here? Where it's just like, oh no, murder is like completely the answer. That's what you do. Huh?
We're not dealing with anything normal, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Like that's definitely not normal. Like, it really isn't. Like, most people don't think, killing someone, that'll fix the problem. And then, act on that.
We like to, I don't know why, okay, well, I know
we
why.
fantasize that killing people would solve a lot of problems, but that's different.
We convince ourselves that it does. And I know why we do that, but that's still stupid. But we do it.
Yeah, like the Iceman. Yeah, in fact, the Iceman is who I was actually thinking of.
Okay.
Because, just a killer. He's weird. You're like, what was his deal? He's just a killer. You could, hey, Iceman, fucking go take care of this guy. All right. And you just go kill them. And be like, all right, done. Got rid of the body. No one will ever find him. Until one day it happened. And it happened largely because, like, a couple of people fucking snitched on him. Because they got caught with something else, and they were like, well, here's who we could turn in to get a better deal.
Yeah, usually, like, how to put it, like, Richard Ramirez was right about one thing. It's when he said that, like, the only time people like me get caught is when we want to, or through dumb luck, or, we slip up. That's it.
Yeah. For example, like, most prolific serial killer in American history, black guy. Why is he? And his murder count is way above anyone else, the next guy's. Just way above, like, order of magnitude. And people are like, how do you get away with this much? It's like, he killed black women. Nobody cared.
Fucked up, isn't it?
Think about that. Yeah. Like, basically, wait, you're telling me that this guy's kill count is a barometer of America's antipathy towards black people? Yes, it is. Fucked up, right?
Actually, when guys like that, like when you think about it, like that's true. That's pretty true of most really big serial killers when you think about it. Like they like how they're able to get away with shit.
Yeah. Basically, when fucking what's his nuts, tall guy, not Ed Gein, much more recent.
Bundy?
No, not Bundy.
Like what did he do? Like what did he?
He's known for largely killing hitchhikers, like co-ed hitchhikers.
Oh wait, I know this guy. It's not.
I could see him. I could see him in my head, but I cannot remember his name as easily. You know, Kemper. Thank you, Edward Kemper.
Oh, Kemper.
Kemper. Yeah, Kemper didn't get caught until. Well, actually, he didn't get caught. He turned himself in.
Wait, hold on. Is Ed Kemper the guy who like he put like the heads outside his mom's window and shit?
Yes, it is.
Yes, he did. He like he would take you know how like some of the heads were missing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would take them and he would bury them in the yard, but if you were to look how they were positioned up underground looking like staring at his mom's window. Because he hated his mom.
Yeah. And like his mom was his last known victim.
Yeah.
Because he killed her and then he was like, he turned himself in. And when they asked why he turned himself in, he was like, well, I was done.
Also, oddly enough, very polite human being.
Yeah, apparently very polite man.
No. He did. Yeah, he didn't. He was a huge guy, really tall, really big.
Yeah, he was a Bigfoot dude.
Yeah, no, he was. He's built like a brick. He was taller than me, I think. He was built like a brick.
He's a huge dude.
Yeah, I know. He was fucking built like a brick shithouse. Like, and plus he killed like a shit ton of people. So no one messed with him. But he was apparently a very nice, affable, charming. Like he knew the guards like names. Like he talked to them all the time. Like
yeah.
Like he got like kitchen privileges and shit.
Well, like yeah. In the prison, Ed Kemper, model inmate. Everyone's like, Ed Kemper is actually a model inmate. How does that make you feel? Uncomfortable, to be totally honest.
I think he earned a degree while he was in prison. Actually,
he did. He did. He did a lot of shit in prison. He did a lot of self-improvement in prison, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah, like, explain this. Like, really, explain this.
Yeah. Like, he was just like, well, I have to kill my mom before I do that. I have to, like, sever 16 heads and place them. It's like there's a ritual he had to do. And then he did it. And then he was like, well, ritual's done. I guess nothing to do except turn myself in. Yep, I killed all them.
I'm going to take this life sentence to improve myself.
Yeah. I just
murdered 17 people.
Fuck? Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, how? It's like him and guys like Bronson. You're just like, I know you're a monster, but I am utterly fascinated by your antics. Because what brings a person to just make this set of assumptions? Because there doesn't see, how does it happen? And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's the environment. Is it? Because this is really random. This is really weird.
It really is.
It's like, are some people just born bad? Well, maybe. That seems to cover all the holes.
Fucking
Society
Charles
makes
Bronson.
monsters, but some are just born that way.
Fucking Charles Bronson, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The guy that they made the movie about.
Yep.
I know. We're not talking about the actor Charles Bronson. We're talking about, fucking the dude that
Oh, about the serial killer.
No. He's not a serial killer. He's a criminal.
Murder. Criminal. Okay.
He's a criminal. He's a regular criminal. Like, he did kill people, but like more than that, he fucking like he was mainly just a thief. You know, he did a lot of fucked up things, but like he wasn't actually a serial killer. But what he was a guy that just had to commit violence. He started a riot just so he would have something to do once.
I feel that.
Yeah, and you're just sort of like, I'm fascinated because like okay, so he takes a guard prisoner. He holds a guard hostage, and then they're like, all right, what do you want, Bronson? And he just goes, what will you give me? And they're like, what? It's like, yeah, what will you give me?
He's an English dude, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's played by Tom Hardy in the movie. You know, and apparently all that stuff in the movie, absolutely accurate. Absolutely happened. It's all based on shit that happened.
That's hilarious.
And you're just sort of like, what the fuck?
What is this man?
Yeah, what is this man? This is a guy, he stayed out of jail for a little while, but then he wanted to impress a girl, so he robbed a jewelry store. And by rob a jewelry store, I don't mean like he pulled a heist. No, he just walks in, beats one guy up, and says, if you don't, it's like, open that case, takes the thing and walks out. And you're like, what?
Obviously, just no sense of self-preservation or concern, really.
Yeah, none whatsoever. No fear, utterly no fear. You know, and then he goes back to jail, and he forces, at one point he forced like one of the prison guards, with the head prison guards, to fucking pose for him in the art studio while he sculpted. Forced. Like, this happened during a riot. It's like, if you don't stand there, I'll fucking kill you. What? Couldn't just ask. It had to be violent.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, oh, no wonder they made a movie about this guy. What do you do with that? You know? Like,
that's all you can do is make a movie.
Exactly.
Like, and then of course there's like our old standby, right? Like, who are we always just gleeful about? Uncle Charlie.
Oh, Charlie. Oh yeah, Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, we're always just gleeful about Uncle Charlie.
Well, he's that Charles Manson's interesting.
Weird man.
Yeah, because he's a deeply, deeply strange person. Or he was. He's dead now. But the method by which that man ticked makes almost no sense. You're like, okay, so he's going to start a race war. Why?
Because he wants the white people to go wait.
Yeah. But what? Yeah, like nothing makes sense.
It's like he wants to start a race war because he believes the race war is inevitable, so he's trying to jumpstart the apocalypse by starting. Yeah. And somehow the Beatles are involved.
The Beatles are involved. Yeah.
I don't fucking know how.
Yeah. It's fucking weird. It's so fucking weird.
What's actually really super weird about Charles Manson is that, like, and what I love about Charles Manson's interviews is that when he really wanted to make sense, he did in a very troubling way, and then he would just slip back into the crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like there's a nugget in there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, geez, the Mark Chopper Reed. Oh, no, I didn't see that movie. I thought for a minute you were talking about Romper Stomper.
Oh.
Man, Man,
what-
that's like fucking American History X. That's a trip into darkness.
Also, isn't it kind of funny? Like both, okay, like Manson and Ramirez both held, like, in California. Manson in San Francisco. In San Francisco?
No. He was held in. I don't know where he was held. Was it San Quentin? I don't think it was.
No, because San Quentin has a death row. And that's where Ramirez was. Ramirez was in San Quentin because he was on death row. And I find it very funny. One held in death row, one held in life in prison. Both died of natural cause.
Yep.
Because Ramirez only passed away in 2013. It was because of cancer.
Yeah. Fucking Manson died in 2017 of being ancient. Let's see, where was he fucking? Mexico. Terminal Island. Where the fuck is that? What the fuck is Terminal Island? Ilsa de Raza de Buenavente, Los Angeles, California.
Oh, it's in LA. Okay.
Yeah, it's an island in LA. Huh. What happened to Terminal Island? Oh, it was also the fucking island. Oh, that's right. It was also the island where all the Japanese were kept. Ah! So there's still a prison on it. Great.
Actually, now that I think about it. Okay. You ever... Jack, let me ask you ever do like this weird thing? You ever do this weird thing where sometimes you think to yourself, okay, if I was going to hold a huge ritual to do X, and I could do it anywhere in the world, I'd do it here? You ever have that thought process?
I've never, not for a magic ritual, no. For a lot of other things, but not for a magic ritual specifically.
I recently had one. I recently had a thought of I think I know if I was going to do a mass magical ritual that for whatever purpose had to draw on pain and suffering and societal downturn, but you know what I mean? If I ever was going to do one, I think I know a place I would definitely hold it. I was thinking about it recently because it's in California.
Where?
The Cecil Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
That would.
Oh, yeah, the Cecil Hotel.
Tell me whether or not you disagree. I'm just I think the Cecil Hotel is the perfect place for some ego Shandor shit.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There's that. It's one of those buildings that's so synonymous with mysterious death. That it makes you wonder what the fuck is going on because
it's literally 3 blocks from Skid Row.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's right there. So you understand how this happens, but one of the things that weirds me out is trying to figure out what that one girl who was found in the water tower. That's one of those killed or drowned herself.
Oh, she drowned. She drowned herself.
Did they figure that out conclusively?
Oh yeah, there's literally a documentary about it on Netflix, I think, right now.
Huh. Because I say every time I tried to watch a documentary on it, they started in with the ghost shit, and I was out.
Yeah, no.
Because I'm not here to watch a documentary about ghosts in the Cecil Hotel. If that was the documentary you were making, that's what you should have fucking told me it was. I'll watch. Don't get me wrong. I will watch a fucking documentary about ghosts in the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, okay. How to put it? You know how there was that It came out on Netflix. It was no. It came out on fuck. It's literally just called Cecil, or like the Cecil Hotel. It's like a 6-part series. Like each.
Yeah, there actually been a couple of them made. So which one matters? Because I started watching one and I was like, I can't finish this.
I'll say I think it's the most recent one. Like it came out this past year, I think.
Huh. Yeah, Lisa Lamb. That's who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the end of it, they're like, yeah, no, she went off her medication. She hallucinated. She wound up on the roof.
Yeah, it might not have been like intentional suicide, but more likely like death by misadventure.
Yeah, no, because here's the thing, right? Because people always number one, by the end of like this 6-part thing, they're like, yeah, no, see this lady right here, she's a psychologist, she's a psychiatrist and pharmacologist. She looked at Lisa Lamb's medication that she had for her psych disorder. And she concludes that because of like when this was refilled versus how much was left in here, she had been off her meds for like a week and a half.
Ooh.
And here's a bunch of statements from people at the hotel saying that she was doing weird shit. Like hallucinating.
Oh,
and then,
interesting.
Yeah. And then like, and was it like the one thing that always keeps coming up? People are like, how'd she get in the water tank? The lid was closed. And it's like, oh, well, we have an answer for that. What's that? Here's the original police report. It says that the lid was open. Someone said the wrong thing on a TV interview, and people have not let go of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like here's the thing, like you don't usually have to lock a water tower. Not a lot of people are trying to get in.
Well, now there's an ordinance.
Well, now there's now there might be a reason.
Because a mentally ill girl drowned herself in one.
Yeah. Usually the fact that a water tower is just is hard to access is the deterrent in and of itself.
That was also a problem, was the fact that this water tower was not hard to access. In fact, it probably should have been more hard to access. It
probably should have been a bit harder. But like, people don't tend to like, let me put it this way. Going up on the roof and then intentionally jumping into a fucking water tower is not high on a list of things that are likely to happen.
Yeah, no.
Even on the worst day, that's not like that. That's not a normal thing. It's not something normal that's going to happen. So it's one of those things where if someone's like, even if it was supposed to be locked, the fact that someone might have been like, oh, did you lock it? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Who fucking cares? Who the fuck's gonna? Why the fuck do we lock that thing? Next day, find the body inside. Okay. Well, as my face read.
But yeah, no, like the Cecil Hotel though, man, it has such like a long history of like death by misadventure, mysterious deaths, murders, overdoses, suicides. I think someone has died on at least every other room of that in at least every other room of that.
Yeah.
Like
it's a very, the building does have a very shall we say, storied history.
And then when you consider on top of that where it is, like geographically, it's like, I tried to explain like that 58 block radius. Like I tried to explain Skid Row to somebody once and they were like, wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, you usually have to explain that it's an actual place.
And then it's like, wait, and then like, but then you get into explaining how like the Los Angeles Police Department's prerogative is containment. Like you explain that to people and they're like, that doesn't sound legal. I'm like, I know, right?
I know, right? It probably, it sounds like it isn't.
It sounds very wrong.
Yep.
But but that's how we keep the rest of Los Angeles County nice and clean for all these rich white people.
Yeah.
But But yeah, but I didn't know this. Apparently, like Ramirez like lived there for a time.
That I didn't know.
I didn't know that either, but I found that out and I was like, ooh. And it's like, yeah, no, he probably killed a couple people here. What?
Well, I mean, if he lived there, I wouldn't doubt it.
Apparently there were people at the time while he was living there. There were people who saw him come back into the hotel naked except for his underwear with blood on him, and no one said a thing. They just went, well,
oh, there goes Richard. You know,
there goes Ricky.
Like there goes Ricky. Yeah.
Like that.
Oh yeah, he comes back like that 2 or 3 times a month.
We don't question it.
Great.
It's like, don't you think you should call the police? I've literally had to call the police 10 times already today.
Yeah, they've given up, and frankly, so have I. You know, like I. Can you imagine what it would be like to be like an honest to God vampire in Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment complex? Like, think about that for a minute.
Why?
Like, you're a real vampire, and fucking Jeffrey Dahmer's up to his shenanigans in your building.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, like in your building. Like, this is causing problems, man.
I've noticed the police are around more often than
Jeffrey,
not.
yes, I've noticed that the police are around quite a lot. Quite frankly, I know what you've been up to, and I would really appreciate it if you would rather
not
keep it to yourself. See, I am a man who minds his own business, but when we have cannibalized young men in the hallway where I can see them, it becomes my problem. Like, I don't know why. Like, I keep thinking about that shit. I'm like,
look. This is America. It's a free country. What you do with mummies inside your own home is none of my business. When you start putting them out in the yard where I could see them, it becomes my business.
But yeah, like, I keep thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, what if, I don't know why that's like a story I keep going back to, but it is. Like, for some reason, when I think it's because like there was that he had that incident in New Orleans says vampire, and so like it just, my brain just put the two together. But I knew Jeffrey Dahmer couldn't be a vampire because holy shit.
It's like, damn you, Anne Rice, I will never not make these connections.
Yeah. But what if fucking you were a vampire and Jeffrey Dahmer was your neighbor? You know, like, what would you do?
By the way, I've decided there needs to be an oil portrait of me in this outfit.
Actually, that maybe that's my off the wall fucking like horror comedy that I'd make for Netflix or Hulu. You know, I'll do that Into Darkness. It'll be for like International Good Neighbor Day. And the whole idea is it's about a vampire who lives next to a serial killer as just trying to just fucking go about his goddamn day. He's like, oh, God.
Remember there was that guy. Remember there was that guy who escaped from Jeffrey Dahmer and he caught him on the street and the police were there and he convinced the policeman that his friend was just drunk and he needed to take him back to the apartment.
Yeah.
And this poor guy is about to be can you imagine?
I can't imagine. Like, damn. I'm trying to think, like, what would he do with the vampire? I don't think it would be like, I don't think it would be like I think the vampire would have to be somehow involved in the murders, but we can't just involve him in the murders because that's a little too normal. You know, it has to be like it has to be like the vampire is just really okay. One possibility: vampires just really old and is really blasé about everything, and so when people ask things about like how do you dispose of a body, he just has an answer. You know, it just says it without thinking about it. Oh, well, you know, like, you know, you could always put them in a vat of lye if you keep that thing airtight for about like 4 or 5 weeks. Like, it should break everything down until it's nice and compostable. Everyone's just like, what? Like, what? Oh, muffins? You know, like muffins to the fucking office party, or you know, what is it? You know, but of course, like the joke is that no matter how weird the vampire is, like the serial killer is just the bigger problem.
Oh yeah, and you could do it in the fashion of there's what the fuck. Yeah, and you could make him like one of the older, stronger vampires from Jacob's wife.
Yeah. It's like a little bit more Nosferatu like.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, or especially the whole thing of just like, yeah, no, he doesn't. Oh
yeah, what if he is like totally like Nosferatu like, and it's like he's like the vampire like lives in the basement, you know, and no one knows that he's there.
He doesn't have to kill, but he does.
Yeah,
well, I mean,
he
has to like sustain his life.
He has to drink blood, but he's like just gotten to the point where he doesn't have to kill people, and then there's a guy eating people in his fucking apartment complex.
Yeah, you know, like he doesn't have like the insatiable hunger. It's just like, you know, a thing he has to do.
Like, yeah, or what if? Yeah, I feel like there has to be. I keep coming back to this idea that the vampire is actually somehow, for some reason, like afraid of the serial killer. You know,
just like goodness.
Yeah. Like they're visibly like they're somewhat shaken by it. You know, but why would they be? You know,
I got it. Because a vampire, while being a monster, and I think and I think we can do this because there are vampires that have done this. That, like, how to put it, man? Vampire, while being a monster, being a creature of darkness, has a love, respect, and reverence for life because he understands why he's taking it.
Or maybe
this man is just.
Or maybe like the fact that guy's the vampire is like the third act twist.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's the third act twist where basically you're like, wow, this guy. It's like you're like, oh my god, this poor guy. He's got like the serial killer in the fucking thing with him, but he's like really weird, you know. And we don't necessarily see everything that guy sees. We kind of like, you know, see him through the eyes of another character. And what we don't realize is that when he's sitting there, like, you know, being nice to rats and things like that, he's actually like using a vampire power or something like that. And when it gets to the end, he's like, well, yeah, guess I just gotta deal with this.
Rats and coffins, motherfucker.
Yeah. It's like, wait, you live in a fucking coffin. Oh my god, you're a fucking vampire. Yeah, please don't tell anybody, you know.
but I do think that though. I think that that's the thing. Like, I don't get me wrong. I enjoy like your animalistic like 30 days of night vampires. Don't get me wrong, but I do like that concept of like, you know, the true vampire, the master vampire, the vampire who
the one who's got some class,
you know? No, and therefore like because they don't have like a constant driving hunger that makes them animalistic, and they therefore have like retained that air of dignity that, you know, how to put it, like you live that long, you start to like be like, yeah, no, I have to take life and I have a great reverence for it. Like, of course I would, Why wouldn't I?
or like maybe yeah, sorry, I'm just like thinking of like crazy stories. Like what if instead of a vampire it was like a gorgon? It's like we keep following this young girl who's like convinced that there's a serial killer in her apartment complex, but it turns out she's like Medusa. Yeah.
You're scaring my snakes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also-
And she could always have these snakes, and she's always talking to them. Like, hello, Rupert, hello, George, hello, Michael. That's not polite. Hello, Rachel. Like, just... Sorry, I don't know why. I like the idea.
No. Oh god, no. She's like a lamia.
Yeah. Something like that. You know, some
God.
sort of like snake related like monster that kills people or turns them to stone. You know, like or you could you could have a whole thing where she's like she's an artist and she does sculptures, and then you realize the sculptures are actually like dead people.
Yeah,
she's fucking petrified.
She's just putting them up.
Yeah. You know, like, you gotta file. Well, you gotta file their finger, prints off, and just in case, and no one really thinks about. No one. No one really
Maybe put a
jaunty
like
hat on it.
Put like a light plaster and then some paint on it, like a Roman statuary.
My God. Like I don't know why I always like the idea of, I'm always delighted by the idea of the kind of the unassuming monster, like the not necessarily evil or bad, just mythical creature, and that explains everything that's weird about them, but at the same time it doesn't explain anything. You're like, how?
You're like, what?
It's sort of like Grandma Moses the werewolf or something, Just like, what the hell? Okay.
It's like, but why?
A gorgon named Zola? Oh my god.
Right there.
Oh my
right
god.
There.
No.
Uh-oh.
That's fucking great.
That's gold.
Name
Oscar.
named Zola, and so this is gorgon named Zola, and then like talking about the movie, and then just all of a sudden it dawns on them. It's like, wait, did they do that on purpose? Hell yeah, I did that on purpose.
Oh, though I do think one of my favorite portrayals of vampire though will always be Willem Dafoe.
Oh, from Shadow
of the Vampire.
Oh God, you have a beautiful wife. She has a nice bosom.
Also, yes, but also just dude, like how to put it, man? Like, you want to know why would being a vampire suck? Watch Willem Dafoe in Shadow of the Vampire. That's a horrible existence.
Oh, that movie is so good. The movie is so fun.
It's like, I told you, I feed erratically. In my old age, I feed the way old men pee. Sometimes all at once, sometimes drop by drop.
Oh man, yeah. Carrie Elways in that movie is fucking what's his nuts, the cinematographer. He just fires a gun in the air, and he's like, "Oh, I should have shot it in slow motion. Would have been very moving."
Fucking, oh my god! It's like, where did you really find him? In that hole. No, oh my god, that fucking thing where he's talking to Udo Kier. When he's talking to Udo Kier and the other guy about about like why Dracula makes him sad.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god!
Yeah. It's like, there he was, setting the table by himself. Here is a man. He commanded servants, armies. And here he is setting the table. That is the loneliest part of that book. He walks off, and fucking, of course, Udo Kier looks at him and goes, "What an actor!"
Yeah, no, it's just like, it made me sad because Dracula has no servants. I think you missed the point of the book.
Yeah.
And he's just like, Dracula has not been human in over 500 years. Does he remember how to set the table? Does he know how to buy bread? How to select cheese with wine? And here, he has to act as a parody to win this man's confidence in his own home. This is the loneliest part of the book. And you're just like, I'm like, I don't know who the fuck wrote this script, but that's absolutely true. And I never thought about it until that moment.
No, that movie's super brilliant.
It's just like, and it's like, yeah, he's a vampire. Like Murnau's a vampire. Like film itself is a vampire.
The
Symbolism.
Oh yeah, well, like I always loved like those movies that were sort of like stories about an artist, about a real person who gets absorbed in the fiction that they are famous for. That's why I like Ed Wood. In the Shadow of the Vampire, the movie Kafka. Movie Kafka is actually one of my favorites.
Kafka's really good.
Yeah.
I have a question. What do you think of Werner Herzog's Nosferatu?
Oh, I love Werner Herzog's Nosferatu. What in particular?
No, I was just curious because like I rewatched it recently. I hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it's really it's really cool. It's really well done. It is weird though because you're sort of like.
I love how at the end he just rides off into the night, and you're like, wait,
yeah. But like, it's interesting because Herzog's version kind of simultaneously highlights the similarities and differences between the movie Nosferatu and the book Dracula.
Yeah,
like it's very gross.
It is.
It's a dank and dirty movie. What I kind of like about it.
Oh god, yeah, like when the rats start coming off,
leave the ship. Oh, jeez. Yeah, the incident, which by the way got the city of Berlin to sue him, or was it Copenhagen?
No, neither. It was hold on, because it's filmed. He filmed it in the same city that the original was set in.
Yeah.
Hold on. Come on, Internet. Vismar.
Yeah. Well, that city sued him because after the production, that town had a huge rat problem that they're pretty sure he caused.
Oh yeah, no, he literally just brought thousands of actual rats into the city of Weismar.
Yeah. And so when you're like, oh my god, look at all those rats running down the street. Yeah, no, that's really happening. That is really happening.
Yeah, like, I mean, how to put it?
How did they get all of them back? They didn't.
Remember, Werner Herzog is the man who caused several people's death by forcing them to push a steamboat over a mountain in the Amazon.
Yeah.
That's a thing he did, because Werner Herzog is crazy.
Yeah, the man is fucking nuts, but he's fascinating.
Oh, he's a genius, but he's out of his goddamn mind.
Yeah, what fucking makes you go like, well, like the thing that really does make him a genius though is I don't believe he knows what he's doing. I actually don't believe he knows what he's doing.
Well, neither do I. I think he's like, it's weird.
I think he knows the opportunities to take film. I think he sees a good opportunity when he takes a good opportunity when he sees it.
Yeah,
And that's
I think
what it is. And I think the idea is create chaos because that makes things happen. And then film that and
put
wait
that
for
into a
those
story.
moments that really make it a movie.
And then fit that into a structure
and
later.
then fit that into something. You know, like, holy fucking crap! Like Fitzcarraldo, not that great a movie. The making of Fitzcarraldo, however, is fucking fascinating.
All I gotta say, man, depressed penguin. Just like, what is that? What is that? I don't know what I love more. The fact that he's probably right? And that's what's happening? The penguin's just gonna go off and die?
Yeah.
Or the perplexed look on the scientist's face as he's just going off about things.
Yeah, like
I don't know what I love more.
Into the Inferno is really interesting simply because of the trip he takes into North Korea. Like, that's the really fucking interesting part of that. Oh, someone mentioned the Oswang. Yeah, who mentioned the Oswang? Jay Tilton. Oh, our man in Thailand.
Oh, I love a good Oswang story. I really do.
Yeah, like is that where they got the idea for the jungle trip in Metalocalypse? Yeah, yes.
Yeah, no, that's a thing that actually happened.
That's a joke on Fitzcarraldo. Because
we'll just go over the mountain.
Yeah, well, like it's like that fucking. It's like the movie, My Best Fiend, which details the making of Fitzcarraldo because it's so integral to the overall theme of the documentary, which is fucking Herzog's relationship with Klaus Kinski. Because Fitzcarraldo is the movie where everything comes to a head.
It's like, and
there are death threats. There are incidents. You know, there is a moment where, you know, Herzog is wondering whether he should have Klaus Kinski killed. You're just like, what?
And what is the ultimate moral of this story? The moral is everyone involved in this is out of their fucking mind.
Yeah, like everyone's like, why do you keep working with Klaus Kinski? Because he's like, because the movie will be greater for him being in it. But you can barely stand this man. I know. That is what creates the opportunity for great film. You're like, you almost killed him, like, on purpose.
Yeah.
Such it is. Such it is. Such it is. You know? You're just like, what?
Like, Werner Herzog is fucking crazy. Like, okay, no. Okay, again. In his rendition of Nosferatu, the Romani people that are in the inn, that are near the inn, that tell him about where to find the castle and shit. Those are actual Romani people wearing that's actually our traditional dress.
Yeah. Because he wanted it to look real. He wanted it to look accurate.
Yeah, no, and they are legitimately speaking Vlach Romanes in the movie. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I know what they're saying.
Yeah. You know, and he was, you know, he's like, well, why didn't you get actors? Like, this is cheaper and more authentic.
He was correct.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong about that, Werner. It's like,
one of those weird things where I'm like, is this literally the only vampire film that acknowledges our actual existence.
Yeah. It has real gypsy shit in it, you know, and real Romani shit in it. Yeah. It's weird, you know, and well, it's like everything about Werner Herzog came into focus for me when, in this one, I forget if it was like a master class or an interview, but he was talking about the art of filmmaking, and what it really is. And his line was, when you are a filmmaker, you are a thief. You are a liar. You are a thief. You go out into nature, you find, and you take film. And I was like, wait.
That's not wrong.
Wait, you're not wrong, but like that basically, that's when I realized, oh wait, his philosophy is put as much weird shit together that kind of fits, let things go wrong, and then make the movie around that.
Yeah,
like that's your movie.
Yeah, it's like you literally steal the glorious moments out of the chaos you're sowing.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, well, this explains why he's always working with Klaus Kinski, but also explains why he always works with the same, like, group of, like, when he can, he would always work with, like, the same cinematographers, like, the same crew, because those guys are equally nuts. They're just not as megalomaniacal as he is.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things where it's like, well, a lot of shit suddenly makes sense now.
Yeah, like what, like one of these, the cinematographer almost drowned on Fitzcarraldo because in the middle of the ship that they were shooting on sinking, he realized it was the perfect time for a take.
He was right.
He was right. That bit's in the movie.
But people almost died.
Yeah. So, also the other thing about that movie, there's a period of time. There's a bit in that movie where the ship is like kind of destroyed. Yeah, that
happened.
That's from that. Yeah, that happened. That's literally the Amazon fucking sweeping this fucking thing down the goddamn river. And while guys are outside, and you're like, wait, there are dudes escaping that. Yeah, that's the crew.
It's like, but no one helped. They just filmed it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It was every man for himself. Just.
Yeah, no.
And you gotta think about, like, what fucking madman.
Like, how to put it, Werner Herzog is simultaneously one of the most amazingly brilliant filmmakers of our time, and probably someone who should be brought up on charges.
Psychotically reckless. Well, it's like another guy who was like that was Larry Cohen.
Oh, shit.
Dude. Like, holy crap. It's like, all right, I just need you to fall out of this moving car. Go do it. What? Yeah, I need you to just fall,
Is there a
what? Like,
net?
yeah, he just fucking straight up told that to, like, fucking, oh, God. Williamson. Big black guy. Played Boss N-word. Yeah, there's a scene where the, like, car takes a sharp corner and he, like,
Fred Williamson,
thank you. Yeah, it was the Fred part that I couldn't remember. Where, like, car fucking, takes a sharp turn and he ducks out of a car. That's actually Fred Williamson.
Oh, wait, shit, that's right. Darrell Martin's in this.
Mm-hmm.
Carmen Hayward? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And that's just one of the many fucking, like, reckless things that Larry Cohen did. Like, it's like, hey,
Larry Cohen is not above. Larry Cohen is not above putting his actors' lives in jeopardy.
No. Like, and when asked about it, he was just sort of like, yeah, I have no idea how we got away with all that stuff.
That's not a great thing to say, Larry.
Like, well, it's like that part in, like, from the commentary on House of a Thousand Corpses. We just assumed she'd duck.
Just assume she'd get out of
the way. Like, wait, what? So wait. A guy that can't see what he's doing is supposed to swing an axe hard enough that, like, that's gonna hit a piece of fucking the set, it's made of real metal so that it can do this, and you didn't rehearse it?
Didn't tell her?
Didn't tell her? Okay. Jesus. You know, like, bleh. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that.
Rob Zombie, you madman.
Well, like, that's like, it sounds dumb, but like, it sounds awful, but I'm like, well, man, he is a filmmaker at this point. Are you a real filmmaker? Have you actually put someone in danger?
See, that's why. Now, Jack, you've argued with your actors and your production crew, but did you ever put someone's life in danger?
No.
And that's why you're not a real filmmaker.
I was worried about like people getting injured in a slap fight that I wanted to film.
See, I almost put someone's life in danger, but decided not to. That's why my films never went anywhere. That's why my short films never went anywhere. That's why I never got off the ground.
I'll be honest. I've thought about it a lot, you know.
I don't actually condone this, by the way.
Dude. It's like the use of drugs and alcohol. Can't really condone it, but it's always worked for me. Some of us have it's just the way life is weird. I don't know what to tell you. I want to tell you that everything is planned out. Everything's fine. Nothing bad will ever fucking happen. But that's me being a big liar. So much is not in your control. So much of your mind is not even under your direct control. It's fucking crazy.
Well, you know, if it makes anybody out there feel better, that remember that today, young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There's no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves.
Here's Tom with the weather. Oh, man. Oh, someone's asking me, how did your family respond to you coming out? As queer or a Satanist? I mean, I'm assuming it's got to be one of those.
Yeah, it's usually one of the two.
Yeah. Although, I'm asking for... Although the funny thing is, that's a distinction without a difference.
Reaction's pretty much the same.
Yeah, reaction was pretty much the same. I'm sure my mom said something annoying and non-supportive. And my dad was just sort of like, okay.
Son, if you think I give a shit, you don't know me that well.
Yeah. Like, you know, whatever. Okay, right. Yeah. You know, like if I had told him I like fucked horses, he might have blinked. He might have been like, well, that's not normal. You know?
I don't think I'd trust your dad if he didn't at that point.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that's not a normal thing for a person to do. That's bad.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. You know, but like, all right, he worships the devil. Like, I think his response to that is just sort of like, oh, that's what we get for sending him to Christian school.
If he received a good Chinese education. If he thinks
about it at all, you know.
If he had a good Chinese education, none of this would happen.
Oh, he knows that if I had a nice Chinese education, I'd be like that crazy, like fucking, like, Taoist sorcerer guy. Just like fucking hangs out on the edge of the street, starts yelling about demons, you know. You know, it's like, hey, son, how are you doing? The demons, Dad, they're all over the place. More of them this season. Oh, okay. Well, as long as you're happy, son.
To be fair, you can earn a good living that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that he would be proud of. Like, oh, well, you know, he's supporting himself, exercises demons and stuff. A lot of demons out there, you know, don't realize.
That's also not a joke. Those people are very highly paid in Taiwan.
I just love. Sorry, I just, like my dad always has this very practical mindset whenever it comes to anything really truly strange. It's probably where I get my like, oh my god, I'm being haunted by a ghost. Tell it to fuck off. Tell it to fucking do the dishes. Is it paying rent, asshole? Like that. Oh god, what was the name? Was that Uncle Roger Meets a Ghost? Have you seen that?
Oh god, yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, my dad is not like Uncle Roger, but his reaction comes from the same place.
Nice.
Let's see.
Uncle Roger telling us about cooking rice was also amazing.
Oh yeah.
You need rice cooker. You don't have rice cooker? What's wrong with you?
Uncle Roger Ghost, Chinese ghost town, Asian. Hold on. Why? But maybe it's not Uncle Roger. Maybe it's another guy. Asian people don't get haunted. Asian people don't get haunted.
Oh no, I have seen that. That's hilarious.
Why ghosts don't haunt Asians? Yeah, it's not Uncle Roger. It's a guy called Stephen He. It's a different guy. Similar joke, similar bit. But slightly different style. So yeah, sorry, I just love this video. This is one of those things where I'm like, god damn it, like this is the stuff I miss. This is the shit I miss doing.
Hello? What the hell?
He looks around.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? Electrician come last week. The hell I pay you for? Whew. Why it suddenly get colder? What the hell? What the hell? Steven, this one of your failures. Oh, I smell bitch in here. Yep, smell like bitch. The hell you doing? What the hell? That's my new sheet. I used the fabric softener. You don't know the white sheet get dirty on the floor. Is that you? You stupid! You cost me electricity! You don't know this costs 5 cents a day! Why the hell is so cold? Who are you, my ex-girlfriend? You don't know that the heating costs money, lah! Who the hell you think I am? Jackie Chan? I make videos on YouTube!
That's a whole joke.
What the hell you do? You scare the people! Only thing scary about you is your unemployment. Where the hell were you Halloween? I had to buy the stupid decoration, buy the web skeleton. Stupid. One day of the year, you don't do nothing. You stand there for one day on Halloween, couldn't do your job. You such a failure. You made my son look like Elon
Just being
Musk.
berated for all your failures.
That was a joke. You want to stay in my house now? Okay, $700 a month rent. You have to do the laundry. You don't pay the rent, you're gonna be wearing garbage bag next week. I didn't want to say, I don't mean to be rude, but when the last time you showered? When you came in, the room smelled like ass in a fish market. Are you a cat? This is Beijing Kong. This yes, this no, okay. Are you a cat? Oh, you're
a cat.
You're a cat? What happened? You run out of lives? What's your name? Beijing Kong.
Oh no!
Your name is Beijing Kong? Okay, sorry, I didn't know you were a cat. I thought
It's
you were
like,
just...
oh, you a cat.
Yeah, you can
You
stay
smell
here
like
with
fish
me.
in here.
There you
Yeah.
go. We make friends.
Yeah, it's Ghost Cat. Therefore, somehow it's cool. It's cool now. It's just a cat.
You just put a pillow for it.
Yeah,
It's
I
fine.
just put some pillow down for it. But I'm like, yeah, a lot of wisdom there.
It's like, what the hell you do? Oh, it smell like fish in here.
Son, Yeah, like, no, God, the funny thing is I think about it and I'm like, okay, what would my dad be like? Son, we don't need strange demons in the apartment. You know? We're not paying, they don't pay rent. Throw books everywhere. Stay out of my room. Yeah.
Turning light on and off. They're not paying for the electricity.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Dad. Sorry about that.
Actually,
consider it.
no. Now, here's the thing. Have you ever, in general,
Okay.
have friends ever like either paid or consulted you for spiritual or occultic or paranormal needs?
They've asked. I don't generally ask for money because I don't know. That feels weird to me.
Don't feel weird to me.
It feels weird. Yeah, for some reason it feels weird to me. Like I'm of the if you like if I come in to officiate a ceremony, that's different. You know, but if it's like I'm afraid of ghosts or something, my opinion is tell them to fuck off. You know, it's being mean. Well, then tell it. You know, blah blah blah. I'm having a ghost problem. Well, it's 3. Well, it's fucking 4 a.m. where I am. Tell them to fuck off. I don't have time for this.
Now, I have come in a couple different times to cleanse a house. And do you know what my honest favorite tried and true method is? I'll tell you, it's an ancient method. It's an ancient method, which is and I'm not kidding. You get a cast iron skillet, and in it you put holy oil and alum. You light it. Well, you light the stove, and you let that shit burn. You let that shit get to the point where it's just burning and smoking inside the cast iron. And then you just walk around the house and fumigate it with that shit, and you just yell and scream and tell that fucker to get out.
Well, actually, people were like, I have a haunted house. Oh, cool. I know. There's one tried true way. Get rid of ghosts from house. What's that? Burn house down.
But
go away.
I'm actually not kidding though. I'm actually not kidding. Like holy oil, like anointing oil and fucking alum. Let that shit burn in a cast iron and smoke the house with that shit. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. Just walk around with it and literally shout it out of the house. It worked. And I mean this. That thing, that particular combination will work on most things up into and including low-level deities.
Huh.
I'm not kidding. It gets shit the fuck out the house. It just does. It just does.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm starting to feel a little peaked. So I think I'm gonna have to sign off.
Dare you?
Yeah, but I should be back later tonight at the regular bat time at the regular bat channel. That being 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over on twitch.tv. Follow me there, count_Jackula. Love to see you tonight. I'll talk to y'all later. My brain.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, buddy. Oh, thanks for talking, man. It was just nice to chat. Yay.
Yeah, no, of course, no problem. No problem.